What's up, tricksters and tricksetas, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review presented by your favorite Radiant coach, CHARLATAN Papito. Today at our coaching table we have Goku04. He is our Turkish friend playing Omen on Haven in a gold 1 elo, but right now he is gold 3, so we're gonna say that he is actually a gold 3 player, and then nevertheless he is gold. Now, let's see what Gokhan has to say to us. My friends may have played a few matches on my account. Your friends played a few matches on your account, but don't do me like that, bro. Don't do me like that. I may have made some mistakes because English isn't my native language. No problem. No problem. English is not my main language as well. I enjoy kebab language. I like it a lot. Baklava, the best shit ever. You know? Kebabs. Mamma mia. That's Italian, but, you know. Hi, Charlatan. My issues are, I reached gold after being stuck in silver for about 8 months. That's a lot. That's a lot. But, you know, when you say that you're hard stuck somewhere, what is more important, like, is how much time you invested. You know, it is not the same if you're hard stuck in silver for 8 months and you played only, I don't know, 100 hours or something like that, and you're hard stuck for 8 months and you play this game every single day. You know, there's a big difference between a real hard stuck player and a fake one, essentially. You know, a real hard stuck player actually puts in the time and effort to get good in Valorant. I'm a Cypher main. Mistake number 1. How are you gonna main Cypher in a gold elo lobbies? Gold elo lobbies in Europe. You are crazy, my friend. Crazy. You know, first of all, Cypher is not a good agent to start playing Valorant with, essentially. He is not gonna improve you on the same level as some other characters, such as Jet, Omen, Raze, Clove, Gecko, and the list goes on. Cypher is amazing, you know, once you reach high elo lobbies, maybe even medium elo lobbies. But from Iron 1 to Ascendant 1, I wouldn't even recommend my worst enemy to play Cypher. You can maybe feel a bit with the Cypher, you know, see how it feels, how it suits you and stuff like that, but if you want to carry the games from Iron 1 to Ascendant 1, you gotta grab yourself by the balls, or pussy, I don't know what you have, and just carry the games. You know, we need to pick some characters that are adaptive, that actually have the solo carry potential, and that are versatile. Like, Cypher is not good enough. And also, you know, when you pick Cypher as your main character, a lot of the players, like, develop basically a lot of gameplay issues that are hard to fix later. A lot of the players become way too passive. They only develop one playstyle. They don't learn that many things about Valorant, and then they stagnate a lot. Or their improvement rate is essentially like really slow. So, like, Cypher, no bueno. Definitely no bueno. And I would easily recommend you to pick any other movement or sentinel or movement or flash agent that is above B+ tier right here. Anyways, you know, today we're gonna take a look at your VOD. We're gonna see, like, what you should actually main. Does Cypher suit you well? You know, what works for you. Just when you're below Ascendant 1, I wouldn't main anything else, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to main anything except Omen, Jet, Raze, Clove, Gecko, Yoru, Chamber, maybe Neon, Phoenix, ISO, maybe Brimstone, maybe Breach, maybe Vise, maybe not, and Reyna, and maybe Fade. But essentially, Cypher, even though he's an S-tier agent, is just pain in the ass, grinding the low elo ranks. Also, like, with Yoru as well, it's a bit of pain in the ass, grinding low elo ranks, because, you know, you cannot really outplay these guys. Like, I mean, you know, they don't know what they're doing, and if enemies don't know what you are doing, they cannot get outplayed, essentially. Neon is just stupid to main. Like, why would you do that? Like, just, you know, master the Jet and Raze and carry the matches. ISO, Phoenix, and Reyna can be good for some, players that are exceptionally, that have the exceptional skill ceiling for their mechanical skill. And Breach, Brimstone, and Fade, there's better picks, essentially. So, overall, your first mistake is playing Cypher. Now, when I play Duelist, even though I get a lot of kills, I hesitate to enter the site and play a little passively. That's an easy problem to fix. Just don't hesitate. Allow yourself to make mistakes as you're learning how to play Valorant. You're playing with imbeciles. Everyone below Ascendant 1 is an imbecile most of the time. They don't know what they're doing. Enemies don't know what they're doing. Allow yourself to grow as a player. The only way to grow as a player is to always get out of your comfort zone and learn. Learn something new every single day. Put yourself in a different scenario. Like for an example, we have good and bad executes with Jett. If you do a good execute and it fails because of the timing, for an example, you at least learn something new. You develop yourself. Like, next time, you're gonna hit better timing. Or you're gonna do that execute in a better way. In a proper way, for an example. But if you never do something, if you consistently play passively, you're never gonna learn. Allow yourself to make mistakes, essentially. Trial and error. Even when I coach the players, I show them, what are the good plays, bad plays, what they should do. They're gonna fail at least 100 times before they actually dial in the proper timing for a specific execute, strategy, or tactic. It takes time. But if you want to grow, you need to have that trial and error period of time. You don't need to have any trials. Based on my ranked playbook and everything that I share on the internet, you already know what is good or bad in a game of Valorant. Try to perform the things that are good. You will fail 10, 20, 50, 100 times. But at 101st time, things are gonna click in with a practice, training, and, repetition, and you'll become better. Your teammates give you a utility to move in. Your teammates are moving into the site. You execute a site. You notice you have an opportunity to fuck up one enemy and take a kill. Do it. Go for it. You die, so what? It is better if you lose the rounds in Valorant by trying to be proactive. Trying to do something. Counter the enemies. Instead of losing the rounds because you're hitting the same wall over and over again. Remember that. Very important. On the defender side, I quickly leave the site and open the empty one. How fast you should rotate completely depends on which map you're playing. We have fast and slow rotation maps. Which round you're playing? Is it the first round, second round, third round, fourth round? Because in the first 3 to 4 rounds, you should always rotate a bit faster on every single map. Then, what type of teammates you have? How much you can trust them? If you cannot trust your teammates, rotate faster. Help them as soon as possible. Fuck it. Fuck the map control. Play retakes 5v5. You have good teammates. Okay, you don't need to rotate that fast. You don't need to sell the map control that fast. Or, what the enemies are doing. You notice in the first 4 or 5 rounds, they always have one Cypher, sneaky, beaky, mother Nikki, I don't know. One guy that is lurking, flanking, taking the space elsewhere. Punish that guy. And you need to anchor the bomb sets a bit longer. You just follow very, very simple rules when it comes to rotations, and these rules will give you 60 to 80% of chances of winning more rounds on a defender side. My enemies enter the site easily. Maybe, let's do some good strategies, hold good angles, have good setups. You're also maining Cypher, how the enemies enter the bomb site easily. What? Well, we're gonna see. There's so many things we can do. Really depends, on your team composition, enemy's team composition, and the map that you're playing, like what you can do in a specific area of the map. But there's always some kind of a solution to get at least one kill as the enemies are entering the site, and then play the retake together with your allies. I watched the videos to improve my game knowledge and apply Charlatan same routine. Good start. Good start. I don't have a proper crosshair placement. Really bad. We need to fix that. I mean, crosshair placement is half of your aim in Valorant. So, I mean, there's like enormous amount of training routines and programs to help you with that. Like, we're gonna fix that in, you know, in less than a week. Not really a week, like in less than 3 weeks. I always want to keep my crosshair at head level, but I find it a little too difficult to do this. It should not be. We're gonna fix that. I know pressing control is good sometimes, but I never press control. Basically, you know, when you want to crouch, when you don't want to crouch. It really depends on a scenario. I mean, the general rule is like, if you're fighting more than one enemy, you don't want to crouch for the gunfight with the first enemy. So if there's like 2 enemies on your screen, you want to kill the first guy without crouching down, and for the second gunfight you can crouch. Also, you don't want to really crouch instantly as you take a fight, you know, only after 1, 2, 3 bullets. Also, if you notice that crouching is punishing you in a specific match, like, that usually means that enemies have a bad crosshair placement, and then, like, you know, they're killing you because you kind of, you know, do this, and then the crosshair is exactly at the enemy's head, or at your head. Then in those matches you should not be crouching that much. But, you know, whenever you need to compensate for your lost recoil, you want to crouch peek the enemies to maybe F up their crosshair placement. Crouching in the middle of the fight is okay. Like, you know, it is a mechanic that you should master and basically, like, understand when and when not to use it. It really depends on a scenario, you know, which angle you're holding, how you want to engage the enemies, and what enemies you're fighting, but these are some general rules. Also, in my in my movement guide on my main YouTube channel, I've already explained, like, fully when you want to crouch, when you know, all of the movement techniques in Valorant that you want to master and how to master them. Now, I think it slows me down, and I want to fight by moving, which you should most of the time, but not always. I also have many problems such as map awareness and reading enemies, as almost everyone else in Valorant. So, you know, you're not special. You're not specially bad. So, yeah, like, when it comes to map awareness and reading the enemies, we also have a lot of... Estoy loco! Red Baron, thank you a lot for the sub, man. Like, basically also on, you know, when it comes to reading the enemies and reading the game, we have a lot of rules that we want to follow to read the enemies, you know, like on both attackers and defenders side. And throughout this VOD review, I'll try to teach you some of these rules to help you out, essentially. And when it comes to map awareness, you know, first thing that I would recommend you is go in this forum right here called As the Coach. Search for the thread, for the post called Minimap Blindness. In that thread right there, I have fully explained when to look at the minimap and when not to look at the minimap. Now, there's a lot of trainings that can help you out with better minimap awareness, and, you know, after this VOD review, I will probably, cup of tea, recommend you some kind of a training. Before this match, I watched the playbook and tried to apply what I learned. That's actually great. That is actually really good. Really good. Because now we can see how you can tweak all of these timings. And basically, like, how you can, you know, what you can do better. Because understanding what is a good play is not the same as actually applying it in a real scenario. Like, you still need to, you know, hit the right timings depending on a scenario that you're playing, essentially. So, yeah. I just don't know why I submitted an Omen VOD. If you're already playing a Duelist and then Cypher, I mean, I don't know, we're gonna see in his tracker what he is actually playing. But if Omen is your new shtick, and you want to learn the Omen a bit, sure, why not? I mean, you did have a bit of success with... We're gonna do a tracker review a bit later, anyways. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, now, let's take a look at Easy Peasy's tracker. So, first of all, this act, he played like 73 matches, so we can take a look at episode 9, act 2. Overall, our Turkish friend, okay, a fairly new player in Valorant. I mean, new. Like, I mean, he started playing this game seriously this year in January. And in 317 hours, he is really close to Platinum 1. That is like average, slightly above average, I would say. Because some players are hard stuck in gold for ages, essentially. Now, when it comes to like this tracker, you know, the last few acts were okay. To be honest, you know, like the minimal optimal amount of time that you should invest in Valorant is 60 hours per act. You know, 60 hours per act. So having 77, 62, 50, 57, like that is enough to actually go from Iron 1 to Immortal 3. Of course, your grind is not going to be super fast. You know, it's going to be more gradual and slower, but that's minimal optimal amount of time that you need to invest in ranked to see some significant improvements. And then once you reach Immortal 3, God help you, like you need to just play shit tons of Valorant, you know, like at least, I don't know, 5 games per day minimum. So overall, we cannot say that he is hard stuck. He is not really hard stuck player. Like, I mean, he does have a trouble, you know, a bit in gold, but he's okay. You know, this is a tracker of a player that if he invests double of his time, he can probably easily get into diamond elo, diamond rank. Like, but you know, probably that is where he would struggle a bit more. But you know, the main benefit of these VOD reviews and like this early coaching is that I don't want you to be hard stuck. You know, I still believe that going from Iron 1 to Immortal 3 can be a piece of cake for majority of players. Now, getting Radiant these days is like, you know, like you really need to dedicate a lot of your time to getting good, you know, getting good. So yeah. Now, let's take a look at his stats this act. Actually really nice. You know, if you continue playing like this, you can easily get, as I said, in a diamond rank. With these stats, in a gold 3/platinum 1, I think you can easily get into diamond 1. During this act, and at the start of the next act. Now, I don't know if you will be able, you're probably not going to be able to compete against, you know, low ascendant players, and you will find a bit more trouble there. But, yeah, you know, that's why I'm here, like, to help you out to see what we can fix now so you don't have the problems later. Every single stat of yours is, like, optimal, really nice. Maybe your mechanicals, you know, your headshot percentage can be a bit better, but generally, headshot percentage doesn't really matter that much. Like, you know, because we have, like, sometimes you want to go for the head, sometimes you want to go for the body shot. You are playing judge, you know, shotguns, you're playing, like, operator, sniper, stuff like that. Like, you know, you need to always go for the headshot, essentially. So, but this is, like, all of this is, like, optimal, I would say. When it comes to the other stats, like, your clutch percentage is suboptimal. You know, one thing that I would advise you to focus on is, like, how can you play 1v1 and 1v2 scenarios a bit better. Now, it's almost impossible to teach you this through a few tips, you know, because every 1v1 and 1v2 scenario is different. But, you know, like, usually you want to let the enemies overthink, try to outplay them somehow with your utility, you know, like, throw a cage right, pick the left side, you know, throw the smoke right, pick the left side, stuff like that. Depends which weapon you also have. Now, another thing here, your amount of last deaths can be much, much better. Like, basically, I'm not saying that you should bait the shit out of your teammates for nothing, but in low elo, if you're not alive, you just pray to Jesus Christ to you know, in this case Allah, to actually win the match and rounds. So, like, a good ratio between matches that you play and amount of last deaths is 1 to 4. You know, every single match that you play, there should be like 4 rounds where you are last alive, actually controlling the outcome of that round. If you're 2v1, bait the shit out of your teammate. Let him peek first and then you peek. Why? Because in low elo, you never know. I mean, generally in Valorant, you never know if your teammate is actually gonna refrag you. And what is he gonna do? But you can always trust yourself. You know, you can be confident in yourself. Like, I mean, your teammate goes for a fight, take a fight as well. Refrag him, you know. You can always keep the proper distance between you and your teammates. So I would just recommend you to value your life a bit more. Like, probably you're dying in some scenarios where you should not die. Like, essentially every single match, you probably have like 2 deaths that are costing you some rounds and some games. It's not a lot. It's actually much better than majority of the players that I coach. But, you know, still, like, those 2 deaths can decide a lot in a game of Valorant. When it comes to other stats, nice. You know, like, on both attack and defense, your performance is optimal. You definitely underperform on the attacker side. And on attack, we need to see what you can do better. Because your stats on defense are really good. Which is to be expected from a Cypher player. But on the attack, a lot of Cypher players make a mistake where, first of all, you only play passively. Fuck that shit. Cypher has an aggressive playstyle and a passive playstyle. What you want to do depends what type of teammates you get. Like, you can put the cages in front of yourself, enter the site together with your teammates. You know, you don't need to play passively 24/7. Also, like, you know, don't lurk every fucking round. You know, the first 4 rounds on the attacker side, you never want to lurk. You always want to play together with your teammates and push something together. Then, you know, in the rest of the rounds, like the 8 rounds that we have, you decide if you can lurk based on information that you have. How good of a teammates you have. Is the lurk going to be effective? Can we actually lurk and punish the enemy somewhere? Like, doing blind lurks is usually the worst thing you can do early on in a match and you know, in the early rounds. Other than that, everything looks really, really fine. When it comes to, like, agents that you play, we already talked about that. Like, considering what type of KD ADR you have, like, I don't know, man. Like, you can continue playing Cypher, you know, as long as you're finding success with Cypher on some specific maps. But I would just recommend you, you know, like, try out the Jet, the Raze, you know, like, try out the Omen, these hyper carry agents. Like, in a long run, I promise you, like, it's gonna be much easier for you to carry the games up to Immortal 3 and Radiant with those characters instead of playing a stupid Cypher. Like, Cypher is really a high elo agent that requires a high level of team play. Like, you need to trust your teammates a lot. So, on the maps where Cypher really works for you well, you know, you can keep playing Cypher. But on other maps, like, you know, fuck the Cypher and do something else. Like, for an example, on Haven, you know. On Haven, because your performance is, like, suboptimal, pick up the Jet, Raze, I don't know, whatever you enjoy playing, like Omen, for an example. On Sunset, you can keep playing Cypher because Cypher is really good on Sunset and you have a really high KD. And on Sunset, it doesn't really matter what you're aiming that much. As long as you don't play the same site 24/7. On Lotus, for an example, fuck the Cypher on Lotus, man. Fuck the Cypher, like, just play, you know, Raze, Omen, Jet. Like, these mobile agents on that map. Like, stupid pick in general. On Icebox as well. Fuck the Cypher. You have 100% win rate. I don't care. Fuck the Cypher. Like, Icebox Cypher. Doesn't make any sense. He's so bad on Icebox. Just find some other pick for yourself. I don't know what to recommend you, to be honest, but I would always recommend you to follow, you know, this list when you're trying to test new agents. Try a bit of Omen, Jet, Raze, Clove, Gecko, Chamber. Chamber on Icebox is muy bien in this elo, especially now after the buffs. Come on. And on Ascent, Bind, and Abyss, like, Cypher is really good, especially on Bind, you know, like, so, yeah. I mean, on these maps, you can keep playing Cypher, but still, I would advise you to experiment right now. You know, experiment a bit more. Because other agents are going to teach you much more about Valorant. They're going to put you in, like, many more different scenarios to grow as a player. and you'll progress faster, essentially. Like, yeah, that's essentially it. Like, test maybe Omen for 50 hours. Test maybe Raze for 50 hours. Jet, Clove, I don't know. Like, there's plenty of good agents. I mean, every flash agent and movement agent above B+ is good, you know, to try out in these low elo ranks, like Omen, Jet, Raze, Gecko, Clove, even Chamber, you know, like Yoru maybe, like Neon, Phoenix, Breach, etc, etc. Now, when it comes to your loadouts, your performance in all of the rounds is like optimal this act. If you keep playing like this, as I said, like you can easily get into Diamond 1, you know, Diamond rank Elo or whatever. This looks promising. Really, really promising. Really, really nice. And when it comes to the guns that you play, this is kind of shit. I mean, this is the best moment of time for you to learn how to play a variety of weapons. You know, how to abuse a variety of weapons. Essentially, you know, you always reach in Valorant a certain point where mechanical skill stops to matter, because everyone is mechanically skilled, or maybe even better than you. And learning how to abuse the Judge, Operator, Outlaw, Bucky, Shorty, Odin, for the Stinger, for the kills that are just easy and cheesy, is very beneficial for every player. Because I firmly believe that 90% of players that are coached will never have a mechanical skill level of a Radiant player. Because 90% of players just don't have that level of skill ceiling. And that, you know, 5% of talent, essentially. But fortunately enough, you still don't need, you know, mechanics do matter in Valorant, but still it's not to the level of a Counter-Strike, for an example. Like, especially depending which agent you decide to play. So try to be more versatile, you know, like Outlaw, you should buy whenever you see that enemies have like less than 3,800 credits. Just go for easy body shots. Operator, you notice that enemies have like a poor executes and utility usage. When they're executing the bomb sites, buy the Operator. Then like Judge on a defender side on claustrophobic maps goes hard. You get the point. Essentially, like no matter which agent you play in Valorant, you have you want to have a high levels of weapon versatility, essentially. And that's kind of, you know, that's kind of it. Like this act looks promising for you. So let's see how we can make it even better. And today we're actually doing the Omen Gold 3. So we're gonna see his Omen gameplay. He played Omen 3 times. This is okay. I mean, considering that you only played Omen 3 times in your life, this is not bad. I mean, obviously you're gonna lose the... Yeah, basically, like, to master Omen, you need to spend 500 hours with that agent. But when I say master, like, truly master that agent, like, understand every timing, every execute, when to do this smoke, that paranoia, that smoke, like, Omen is not a simple agent to play. But Omen is the most beneficial to learn in a long run. Because if you master Omen, you will just experience so many different scenarios that, you know, the game is going to become way too easy, boring, repetitive. You will understand your win conditions better. You'll be more aware, essentially. And in 3 matches, having this type of a performance, that's actually nice. Like, considering that you only play 3 games with Omen. Really, really nice. Like, give Omen a try. Give Omen a proper try, especially on, you know, maps such as Lotus, for an example, Haven, Bind. Obviously, Bind is the best Omen map. Like, Icebox as well. Up to Immortal 3, Omen is really good on Icebox. If you replicate everything that I'm teaching in my ranked playbook on my Discord server. Other than that, I don't know. Let's see what you have to showcase to us. And let's see if there's any training, aim training, or some coaching videos and tips that might help you to progress faster. Okie dokie. Okay, ladies and gents, now it is finally time for the VOD review. And we have the attacker side of Haven. Let's do a quick TLDR of how should you think and play the Haven in ranked solo queue, especially if you are below Immortal 3. First of all, your default bomb site, number 1 priority, A site. Number 2 priority, C site. Number 3 priority, B site. Essentially, on these trial-end maps, ending up on the B site early on is usually the worst gamble that you can make, because the post plants on B site are always 50-50. It is really hard to support your teammates in every single duel that they take. Oh, I apologize, I just hit you. And it's really hard to essentially like play a proper refrag game. Essentially on A side, post plants are around like 70-30. On C side, they're like 60-40. And on B side, they're always 50-50. Like basically we have 3... I apologize. My PC crashed again. So, what I was saying. Basically, in the first like 4 to 6 rounds on the attacker side of Haven, you always want to tell your teammates to play together as 5 and execute one specific objective together. Now, if you notice during the first 4 to 5 rounds that this specific playstyle is not working, that is the moment of time where you need to start faking the bomb sites, taking, defaulting a bit more, maybe taking the space in garage, destroying the enemy's sentinel utility, and then, making the enemies rotate. But generally speaking, like 5-man executes on this map, especially in the elos below Immortal 3, should be quite easy with a proper team composition. Now, the best pattern of pushing, the best idea that you should do in the first round is the following. If enemies have 1 or more sentinels, but I'm only talking about hardcore sentinels, such as Cypher, Killjoy, or Sage, like 1 or more, then the best idea on Haven is to do a 5-man push onto the A site in the first round. And most of the times, like, the best pattern of pushing is like pushing A site 3 rounds in a row, and then in a 4th round, faking A, but actually ending up on the C site. Now, if enemies have 0 sentinels, so they have nothing, essentially, then you can push C site 3 rounds in a row, together as 5, and in the 4th round, fake C, and go onto the A site. The whole point of this early strategy is to give us the absolutely highest chances of winning the 4th round. 4th round is our highest priority. And what happens in the first 3 rounds, it really doesn't matter that much. Like, you're not gonna lose all of them. Maybe you're gonna win all of them. It really doesn't matter. The whole point is like to test the enemies, see how they respond to our 5-man executes, and that's it. Another rule that you should follow on Haven is basically like whenever enemies are Eco or Halby on a defender side, we never want to touch these 3 areas of the map. We don't need them. Like, you literally don't need them. Do a 5-man push through C long, do a 5-man push through A long, and just be aware that someone might be in A short area of the map, and clear the A short once you take the A side control. Now, in this specific match, enemies do have a Cypher, so in the first round I would just run it down A. It's easier to dodge his utility on the A side than it is on C side, and there's less mistakes that your teammates can make, on that part of the map. Let me quickly fix the chat if it is even fixable, like, what can I do here? Maybe now it's fixed. Let me see. Bop. No fix it only. Just a moment. Pre-game. This. Well, there's no chat here. Okay, so in the first round, if we are pushing A side with Omen, the best thing that you can do is the following. Buy the classic pistol, light shield, 2 smokes, and 2 shrouded steps. Your job is to clear the A main area of the map in the following way. Like, you can instantly teleport here by revealing the enemies as well and giving the information for your teammates. And then from this angle, engaging the enemies there. And then from this angle, engaging the enemies in long. And then pushing with your allies, clearing this position, jump spotting the enemies. But also, a lot of the times, I don't even waste a shrouded step in the first round. I simply do this. I bunny hop into this angle, revealing the enemies on this part of the screen right here, you know, top right. And essentially just bunny hop like this. Most of the times, you're not gonna die. You know, 99% of the times. Maybe you get hit by one bullet, but the whole point is to bait out the enemy shots, get the info, and get here safely. Anyways, like, having 2 shrouded steps to execute the ace in the first round can be very important. And in the first round, if you're playing in the lobbies below high elo, you should always go for some kind of an aggressive play with Omen on Haven. Always. And the best play that you can do in the first round is the following. Do the smoke for your teammates for CT. You know, regular smoke or a one-way smoke right here. Second smoke we give to ourselves. But that smoke also supports you and your allies as well. So we put a smoke on top of the bomb site, on top of this second ledge. We have the first, second ledge, like that crate right there. That smoke there gives us a brief cover for the tower, and our teammates from short are also covered from tower. And in the first round, we're going for the semi-aggressive play, where we teleport either underneath the smoke or on top of the smoke right here. Then from this position, we have 2 options. You can extend your aggressive play and try to additionally outplay the enemies. We can teleport here, or we can teleport here and try to fully outplay the enemies if you feel that you have a good timing for that. Like that enemies are distracted by your teammates. Or you can simply wait for your teammates to pick up first contact with the enemies. And then from this position, ba-ba-bop, ba-ba-bop, you know, just kill the enemies. Or from the lower part of the smoke, you can wrap the enemies here and then ba-ba-bop, ba-ba-bop. We still have a CT smoke. We're fully covered. And that's the only thing that I would ever recommend anyone to do in the first round with Omen if you're playing in the ranked solo queue in the lobbies below Immortal 3. You cannot trust your teammates in the first round with taking the space. You have no fucking idea with who you're playing. So we need to see how good are our allies, actually. And now, let's see what our friend is gonna do. We're pushing A site. Let me turn up the volume a bit. Okay, instant mistake. Like, especially in the first round. Like, don't start this passively. Like, run in front of your allies. Most of the time, your teammates are not gonna jump spot any angles. They're just gonna swing the enemies in some stupid fucking gunfights and potentially die from a jet that is playing with a sheriff here. Go in front of them. Jump, you know, do this. Reveal the enemies. Bait some shots from them. Or simply do this. And be ready to fight with your allies as soon as they get a contact with the enemies in the A-long area of the map. Like, most of the time, when your teammates are just doing a 5-man push somewhere, and they're, you know, we're not playing on contact, we're playing slow, you should go first. Because I rarely see anyone in the lobbies below Ascendant 1 doing any type of jump spotting to get the information. And, you know, let's be honest, in this elo, you're not gonna have that good of a utility like from Sova, from your teammates, you know, to reveal the enemies in A long or C long or short. So go in front of your allies, reveal the enemies, and then fight together with your teammates. And also the distance for this first round between you and your most aggressive teammates is way too big. Way too big. I mean, they're like jump spotting that angle after your team has already got a contact with the enemies in A long. Doesn't do anything, you know, like don't jump spot behind your allies. If your team has already passed some area of the map and they're pressing the W key, make sure that you're fighting with them. Also, this crosshair that you have here, like, I mean, it is a dot crosshair, but it looks way too big. I don't know. It kind of looks big. Like, basically, this type of a crosshair can be a bit of a problem later. Like, when you want to hold, like, some tighter angles, like, it looks similar to mine, but it is a bit bigger as far as I can see here. Like, maybe I'm tripping, but this looks like 1 or 2 pixels bigger. It can be a bit of a problem because, you know, as you get better in Valorant, you want to start holding really tight pixel angles like this. And if your crosshair is that big, then sometimes, you know, like, hitting headshots on these positions and reacting on enemies can be a bit of a problem. But for your rank, like, you know, right now you cannot hold these type of angles and get a kill, so it doesn't matter that much.
Cover going out.
Mistake number one. Mistake number one, like, essentially, you know, in the first round with Omen, you always go for some kind of a semi-aggressive play. What is a semi-aggressive play? Semi-aggressive play is like where you still use your utility for your teammates, but you need to have some piece of utility that you use for yourself. Like, you are the duelist in that round, no one else. And you need to be ready to execute the site. Right now, especially when our teammate died from the A short peak, we need to go for some kind of an aggressive play. Like, entering this site with a Yoru, with a Phoenix, Gecko, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what a gold, platinum Yoru and Phoenix are gonna do. And what type of flash execute they're gonna perform. So, like, in the first round, always do some semi-aggressive play. Have some utility for yourself, where you can enter the site in a safe way, and essentially enter the site together with your allies.
Shadows traveling.
Another tip. With a classic pistol, really try to avoid. Like, try your best to avoid the gunfights that are above 20 or 25 meters. Like, basically, taking this fight with a classic pistol is a huge gamble. Unless you need to fight together with your teammates. The reason why we buy a light shield with a classic and 2 smokes and 2 shrouded steps in this first round is to go for some kind of an aggressive play. If you don't want to go for an aggressive play, well, buy the fucking ghost. You know? It doesn't make any difference. Buy the ghost and you know, fight the enemies. Like, but these type of fights, like, all of the fights in the main areas of the map, you should try to avoid as much as possible. You have only one job. And your job is essentially this. And that's it. Or teleporting down here. And then from this position, using the triple shot, deleting the enemies, maybe additionally outplaying the enemies, you know, trying to fuck them up if you see a good opportunity to do it. But every single fight that you take with a classic pistol on the ranges above 20 or 25 meters are way too inconsistent. Like, basically, the bullet spread is like, you're just relying on luck to get a kill. Like here, for example, this is 25 meters. This is gigantic. Just look at that spread. Like, that's why I prefer Counter-Strike over Valorant. Like, at least mechanics. Like, this is insanity, man. Fucking insanity. But, you know, if you move through the choke point, we get onto the site. Now, we are in an advantage. We have a classic with a light shield, triple shot, one more shrouded step. We can outplay the enemies, fuck them up, actually take some easy kills. And only take the fights with a classic if you really need to take them. But in this first round, you don't need to do that. If you actually go for an aggressive play. Like, if you're not going for an aggressive play, just buy the ghost. Buy the ghost with two smokes and a shrouded step. Like, you know, it really doesn't make sense to play classic in that case. Okay, we fucked up a bit that first round. Now, in the second round, on Haven, you have two options. we either push A set again, trying to create that unpredictable pattern of pushing, and whenever you're pushing A set in some eco rounds, halberd rounds, or bonus rounds, always give yourself and your teammates smoke here, then pass the A-long area of the map, and then try to, you know, fuck up enemies with this smoke with a classic shorty or something like that, you know. Maybe try to reveal the enemies and then bob up, try to kill them. And play a bit more aggressive. You know, like, just try to experiment a bit more, get out of your comfort zone, go for some crazy plays. Second option is, if you don't want to create that pattern of pushing that I was talking about, then usually the best idea in these rounds is to try to get a kill somewhere on B site or in the garage. Like, buy the shorty, buy 2 shrouded steps with 1 smoke. At the start of the round, do this teleport, and try to kill a potential enemy that is peeking through the garage. Like, players really like to go for this stupid peek in a second round. You might get an easy kill. Enemies don't peek you, no problem. We can jump spot the enemies here, do this type of a smoke, and then teleport behind the smoke right here. And then enter the smoke and try to kill the enemies that are in the garage. Maybe you can stay here a bit, try to see if an enemy is gonna peek you. Like, remember, your whole job in these eco rounds on the attacker side is not really to win them. You know, your chances of winning this round is like below 10%. You can do it, but it doesn't matter that much. Your whole job is to damage the enemy's economy as much as you can, try to trade yourself for as many kills as possible, and you need to play more aggressive. Especially if you're playing Omen. Go for, you know, my ranked playbook is filled on Discord server with aggressive Omen outplays, plays on Haven, Bind, all of the maps. Like, try to copy-paste something. When you're copy-pasting these plays, they're probably not gonna work first like 10, 20, 50 times. You need to get a good feeling for them and feeling for timings. But after 100 times when you perform them, on the 101st time, you will you know, get the idea when to do them, how to perform them, what is the right timing to teleport, and that type of shit. Like, I mean, if you're never trying something in Valorant or life, you're never gonna get good, you know, if you're always playing within your comfort zone. So in this round, you know, buying a ghost and then pushing C-long against enemies that potentially have like a 2 outlaws, guardians, marshals on C-long, we're not gonna have a fun time. You know, if I'm pushing C-set in this round, fuck it, man. You know, we do the deep smoke here to cover the vision of the enemies. Let's try to walk up into the smoke, and then we send it with some kind of an aggressive play. Then we can maybe wrap the enemies, bob up, kill one guy, maybe teleport behind this guy, try to bob. Depends on, you know, observe the minimap, listen to the audio cues, and go for the play. But here, like, I don't know, this is just a waste of money. Like, I mean, with a ghost and, you know, pushing C-long, like, just, this is not gonna end well, man.
Cover going out. Time to jump. Shadows traveling. Decoy.
Listen, whenever you're putting this C-long smoke, this side smoke for an aggressive play, do it a bit lower. Like, don't do it on top of the site, do it in the middle of the box. So that the enemies need to guess if you teleported up or down. And also, you have that additional benefit where if you miss your teleport, we're still fucking safe. You know, you're still inside of your smoke. As long as you're in this circle, right here, enemies don't see you. And then, you know, we can peek the enemies. Here, we can maybe go behind the site, you know. Try to get a kill. Maybe TP behind the enemies, I don't know. Like, you know. But usually, you should not put that smoke, if you're going for an aggressive play, on top of the double boxes. And anyways, pushing here the C long, like, it's always a bit of, I mean, we're playing an eco round. Like, half by round, like, full eco round. Like, it's almost impossible to push C set in this round, and it doesn't make any sense, to be fair. Like, it makes sense only if you're trying to create that unpredictable pattern of pushing, where you push the same side 3 rounds in a row. Otherwise, fuck it. Also, you know, on B side, in these eco and half by rounds, you can get such an easy kills. Like, you know, you can start the round in the garden, bunny hop here, bop, 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 get into this position, jump spot the enemies, make me do a trial and smoke here, you know? Then do this type of a smoke. We close the gap with the enemies, like here, bop, 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 kill the enemies, then we can enter this smoke, like, be more creative, get out of your comfort zone. Like, in these eco rounds, you just need to behave towards yourself as if you are the carry. Like, you are the guy that is trying to win this round. You are going in first, you're trying to outplay the enemies, trying to get some kills with a shorty, bucky, classic, stuff like that. Smokes don't matter. You know, like, we should never do a default setup, God forbid. Because it's impossible to enter the bomb site with a default setup in these eco rounds. Not impossible, just highly improbable. Just a moment. Someone is calling me. Okay, okay. FBI, not me. Now, as I said, like, even whenever enemies are eco, half by bonus on a defender side, whatever you do, don't touch the garage, B set and A short. Whatever you do. Now, how passively you're starting when we're doing this 5-man pushes is gonna hurt you a lot in this C-low. Like, especially if you want to jump spot, C long, A long, you need to go in front of your teammates. What's the point of this jump spot if your Phoenix is just gonna peek this angle before you? If your teammates are already peeking the angles like this Phoenix, you know, you're pushing A side of Haven, and your teammates are like a monkeys, like they're just, you know, just teleport, and then take a fight with your allies. Like, that's the only way to support them in real time. That flash there is like, okay. I mean, like, one of the rules that I always teach the players that I coach is that, you know, you always want to take the least amount of casualties possible in these main areas of the map. Like, almost never you should have teammates dying there. Like, you should be giving the flashes to your allies, smokes, drones, recon darts. Like, dying in these areas of the maps is just an imbecile move. Like, there's so many ways to prevent that shit. So, like, if you think here that your Phoenix is gonna die in that fight, and you're not able to support him, even though you were able, like, I mean, you were really close to your Phoenix. I don't know. I mean, it's okay, Flash, like, I mean, if you're that scared that this guy might die, but you were already way too close to that Phoenix. You could have just played a refrag game with him. And this whole push needs to be much faster. Like, I mean, if your teammates are this scared to push in, you need to move a bit faster. Like, I mean, our push took ages in this round. Like, we needed 21 seconds. We needed 16 seconds to get to the A main orb. And enemies only did one sky flash. I mean, no bueno, man. Okay. Okay, in this round, of course, like, you should never go for some kind of an aggressive play. Like, we should always play in a default way. Why? Because, you know, enemies have the eco round weapons, bonus weapons, like classics, Judge, Stinger. It is okay. Remember that whenever enemies are pinching you from behind, So they're lurking, flanking, and trying to make a sandwich out of you. How should you respond to that? Like, this is very important because a lot of players make a mistake here. So, let's say you're pushing A side of Haven. And you know that 1 or 2 enemies are behind you. What do we do? If your teammates are already executing the site, and they are fighting the enemies on the site, ignore these 2 idiots and deal with the enemies on site first, as fast as you can. Like, support your most aggressive teammates. But if your teammates are not fighting the enemies on the site, and we didn't even execute the site, then deal with the enemies that are behind us, reset the round a bit, slow down a bit, and then let's make a decision, you know, based on how this fight goes for us. So here, going back to deal with a jet and one more enemy that is behind us is absolutely a good game decision. Just a second to see something. Listen, okay, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I was trying to see his buy options. He needed to buy a light shield.
Cover going out. Die.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, don't we know that Sky is also behind us? Like, look, go. Like, right now, we know that the Cypher is the C player. That's the information that we got from the first 2 rounds. We know that the Sky is behind us. So right now, you have 2 game decisions. We either push together on A and deal with the potential Cypher that is on A side, that rotated, or we pinch the Sky together and just fight the Sky. Now listen, in these type of scenarios, you usually want to do what your teammates are doing in these low elo lobbies. If they don't want to listen to your callouts and they don't want to follow you up. So here, if you're Sova, if you're Yoru and Gecko actually want to fight this guy that is behind us, then we fight this guy. If they want to push the A side, we push the A side. Anyways, we have plenty of time. We have 1 minute to finish somewhere. We can take this round a bit slower.
Fake teleport.
Okay.
Cutting through. Shadows traveling.
Listen, in this type of numbers advantage scenarios, like right now we're 3 versus 2. Once again, you have 2 options. Option number 1. Always play with your most aggressive teammates. Instead of playing in a window right now, it would have been much better if you actually played with your Yoru and try to support both Yoru and Gecko, no matter what type of fights they pick. Option number 2, if you have some other win condition, better win condition, rely on that win condition. What is a better win condition? Like maybe, I don't know, your Gecko has the ultimate and he's also playing from the window passively. Okay. Play passively, don't follow the Yoru. Killjoy has the ultimate and Nano Swarms, like, play with the Killjoy in the A main, B main area of the map, C main, stuff like that. But in this round, the only win condition that we have is like playing the proper refrag with our allies. Thus, playing in a window here is a bit risky. You know, we're taking a 1v1 fight. If enemies are behind us and we have only 45 HP, enemies can just spit on us and we're dead. Plus, if both of your teammates die, it's gonna be hard winning this round.
Spike planted. Thanks, Wings.
Okay. I don't know what to say, man. Like, in this round, I would have still played with my Yoru. Like, Gecko going back. Is okay. Like now we have the Gecko support, and then we probably have a flash, maybe a Molotov. Plus we have a smoke. But losing one ally in the way that we did right now is usually not the most optimal play. Like, you should have played at least close to the beam and choke point, so you can maybe refrag your Yoru, if nothing else. Now we need to play mega smart here.
Not ready yet.
Okay.
Cover going out.
I don't know about that one way. That doesn't look good.
Gotcha.
It's okay. Okay. I guess that's GG. Okay. Let me see the enemy's economy. What does it say? Okay, enemies are playing a first full buy round. First of all, when you're, you know, tracking the enemy's economy and pattern of positioning is very important when you're playing on the attacker's side. Like, you need to be 2 steps ahead. And I'm not referring to Nikocado or Avocado. So, enemy Jet has enough money to buy the operator. She's definitely going to play the op in this round. I mean, chances are really high, especially on Haven. Second thing that we know is that Jet usually plays A site, and she picks A short or A long. Sky also plays the A site. Cypher is playing C, and Clove and Neon are basically playing around the B and Garage. In this round right now, I would either hit the A site and just do a 5-man push on A, because only God knows what our teammates are going to do on the C site against the Cypher, or we do some kind of a split on C. Because theoretically speaking, like, based on what we saw in the previous rounds, there's only 2 enemies playing around the garage and C site. We can send 4 teammates in garage. You can lurk alone through the C long area of the map, give them the smoke here, give them the smoke here, give them Paranoimus Rex, maybe for the garage push, and then, you know, we can always teleport somewhere into sight over the Cypher tripwires to support our allies as they're going out into the bomb site, for an example. Now, another thing I would do in this round, if we are already pushing C site, and there is a huge chance that there is one enemy with an operator in C long, try this type of a play. Teleport across the C long and peek the angles like this. Most of the players playing op on C long, they hold, you know, the C long push with this type of a crosshair placement. Sometimes they also make a mistake where they double scope against Omen players and their vision is fully blocked by the scope on the right side. So try this place a few times, especially if you think the enemies have the op on that part of the map. God help us now.
Shadows traveling.
Okay, Cypher is C.
Cover going out.
Listen. First of all, when you're doing this smoke, here, always do it in the bombs, in the middle of the boxes, like this. So you have the option to go down and up. Anyways, enemies will very, very rarely, you know, do some kind of a peek like this. It's still a bit of a one-way, so it's hard to peek it. And when you're doing the garage smoke, never do it deep. Do it like this. This is much better. Like, at least we're cutting off the enemies, playing instead of this choke point and fucking us up. Fuck it. This position, always smoke in this specific way. Okay, actually they have the op, like, on C long.
Cover going out.
That was a big balls play from the enemy Jet. I don't know how we didn't kill her. Go, go! Listen. Like, if you have a Yoru that is using the ultimate and scouting for the enemies on sight. Follow that Yoru. Support him with a paranoia as well. Like, as soon as you see that, you know, wherever that Yoru scouts for the enemies, flash those enemies and go for some aggressive play. Like right here, we know that the Cypher is on the right side and Jet dashed into the CT. That's all information that we need. We have a smoke for the garage, smoke for the site. We can paranoia the Cypher, teleport here, kill the Cypher, or just teleport here, kill the Cypher, and that's it. We have the full site control. Plus, our Yoru might get a kill on the enemy Jet. Like with Omen, a reaction is really important. Like, you know, you want to be proactive most of the times, you know, but what is even more important is like how you react to every single scenario in which your teammates and enemies put you in. Like here, playing passively and waiting for Yoru to take some kill, or maybe open the bomb site. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you're playing in gold, platinum, elo, like... like these guys, like, they can do some crazy shit, you know? Like, you never know what's gonna happen right now. So if you don't take the control of this round in your own hands, you're just wasting the Omen potential. And here, like, instead of teleporting first, like he didn't need to go for that TP on the smoke. Like, you know that the whole site is clear. Like, pay attention to the minimap. Like, Yoru went in, checked literally everything. Like why do you... Why you need to go for the TP there? Like, this is smoked. Cypher has nowhere to hide. If you just do this paranoia, and this... Sorry, I missed it. And this... Cypher is dead. This is another problem, like, of a lot of Yoru players, Omen players that I coach. Like, don't tunnel vision yourself only on the outplays and plays that you saw from me or from some other players. Don't tunnel vision yourself only on your default aggressive executes, you know, standard executes and stuff like that. Like, always adapt yourself to the scenario in which you're playing. Because there's no reason to complicate things here. Why would you teleport up there and then pick up, you know, and then swing the Cypher into a 50-50 fight for no reason? Just flash the right side, teleport, kill the Cypher, open the site. Always simplify things. I don't know, I really don't like how you play these first 4 rounds. Because there are some really strict rules that you want to follow in Valorant. And in the first 4 rounds, you need to have like 300% focus. 300% focus on like what your enemies are doing, what your teammates are doing, everything. Like, you tell me, you know, are you tracking, you know, you need to be more adaptive, essentially, to these type of shits. And also, like, I highly doubt that in these first 4 rounds, he realized what enemies are doing. Cypher is C, Sky is A site, Neon is around the garage, and B. Neon and Jet are kinda switching. Clove is around the B side playing fast rotations, and Jet is switching with the Neon. In this round right now that we're playing, like this 5th round, I guarantee you that enemy Jet is on the A site. Guarantee you that with that operator. So in this round, pushing C again is number 1, more unpredictable. easier. And also another information that we got in this match is that our teammates are mentally disabled in terms of executes. Like, they don't know how to execute the sites. They don't know how to take the space. So you will need to go for a bit more aggressive. That's how you decide. Should you play Omen in an aggressive way? Or like default supportive type of way? When you have these type of teammates that cannot execute the bomb sites and positions effectively, you rely only on yourself. And you're the one that should be taking the space for your team. Now, in this round, we have a huge problem. Like, if we are pushing A set in this round, we need to be aware that Jet has the operator. Our teammates don't know how to deal with that Jet. So in this round, what I would be doing is the following. If I think that my teammates are going to die from an op while we are pushing the A site, I'm going to give them the smoke here and instant paranoia on short like this. Making that enemy Jet fall back a bit, which gives me enough time to take some space in the A-long area of the map, and around this smoke I can wrap like this, clearing one angle at a time, and taking more space in a safe way for my teammates. They can still die on short, you know, that's out of boundaries, like, I mean, like, obviously. But at least this initial contact is gonna go well. And then we still have one smoke, one shrouded step, maybe two smokes, you know, if we cut our noise a bit, like, and wait for the second smoke to recharge. And then we can go for some additional aggressive play on the actual site. Hey, short! Oof.
Stealing sight. Shadows traveling.
Listen, man. This type of a flash only do if, like, enemies are heavily contesting you in the aiming area of the map. Like, you need to start reading the game a bit more and how enemies play, because players in the ranks below Immortal 3 are way too repetitive. Like, repetition is why most of the players are stuck in those lobbies. Their playbooks are very shallow. Their gameplay is very shallow. So, every single time when we pushed A site in this match, enemy Sky was peeking A long, and that's it. She just takes the first fight, the first contact, and goes back on the site. Thus, wasting paranoia for this is just a waste. If she's not fighting aggressively for the aiming control, why would I do this paranoia? Let's save it for the bomb site, or let's save it to support our teammates on A short if they have trouble pushing through the A short area of the map. And especially in eco rounds, doing default executes and default setups is just stupid. Like, right now, pushing in with a sheriff and default smokes, there's no, like, chances of us winning this round is like below 20%, maybe even less. You need to take more control in your hands. Go for the aggressive plays. Experiment. You know, do some random shit at the end of the day. You don't need to follow my playbook to the core. But this, I don't know if this is gonna work. You see, like, no one is taking any initiative. Nobody. Like, listen. On the attacker side, in Valorant, you will have 4 types of teammates with yourself. Teammates that are aggressive and passive, good and bad. This is really important to know. So, let me pull out the notepad. So, what type of teammates you'll have on attacker's side in Valorant. So we have aggressive and bad, aggressive and good, passive and bad, passive and good. So only 4 types of teammates. If you notice in the first 4 to 5 rounds that your teammates are aggressive and good, like they're willing to take the space, willing to move in, they're usually entering the bomb site, taking the space for the rest of the team, they have proper utility usage, they usually get a kill as well. Your job is to support them as best as you can. You don't need to play as an aggressive player. Make sure that you're at least 3rd, 2nd, 4th moving into the site, that you're supporting them with a proper utility, and that you're refragging them if the things go wrong, if the things go south. If you have teammates that are passive and good, so your teammates want to play really slow, they want to rotate, they want to flank, lurk, fake, and that playstyle is actually working for us. You're winning more rounds compared to what you're losing. Like you feel that playstyle actually works. Like we're always making numbers advantage and able to plant the spikes and make the enemies rotate. Like enemies are rotating really fast as well. Keep playing in that specific way. Like don't move in immediately, wait for the picks, wait for the enemies to rotate, then fake them, you know. Adapt to your allies, if that works. Now, if you have teammates that are aggressive and bad, so your teammates want to push in, want to take space, but executes are shit. They are always dying first. In that case, you need to go for the aggressive plays with Omen. 24/7. Like in almost every round. Give certain piece of your utility to your allies, support them, and the half of your utility use for yourself. Like maybe 1 smoke for them, 1 smoke for you, for an example. You need to take the initiative to engage the enemies. You don't need to be the first fight with the enemies, but make sure that you are giving the fake confidence to your teammates to move into the site. And make sure that you're ready to refrag your most aggressive ally no matter what. A lot of the times, you know, when I go for some aggressive play with Omen, like I bait the shit out of my teammates if I notice that they're aggressive and bad. Like I'll go for this TP play on top of the site and just wait there. I already applied a certain level of pressure onto the enemies. Now I'm just focusing on the minimap, watching, you know, where my teammates are, taking the fight with the enemies, where are the enemies at that moment of time, and choosing the right moment of time to strike and to refrag my allies or to support them. Now, if your teammates are passive and bad, remember that team play doesn't exist for you during these matches. Like basically, your teammates never want to move in. They're always baiting the shit out of you. Then your only focus is what the fuck are the enemies doing? And how can I punish at least one enemy somewhere, open some area of the map alone, outplay one enemy, and then maybe connect with my allies or allow my teammates to have higher chances of winning this match. Like in this specific match, your teammates are overall bad. In some of the rounds they're passive and bad, in some of the rounds they're aggressive and bad. So you need to take that solo initiative already. Because if you continue playing in the way that you're playing right now, I mean, God help us. Like when we're pushing A side, our teammates are passive and bad. When we are pushing C side, our teammates are aggressive and bad. So adapt yourself based on what type of teammates you get on the attacker side. That's how you decide. Do you want to play Omen as a sentinel, controller, duelist, initiator? You know, like that's how you decide like how you should play on the attacker side based on what type of teammates you have, not what type of enemies you have. You're trying to counter the enemies, but you're not really adapting your playstyle based on the enemies.
Wingman's gonna plant tonight.
Here, like, look at it. This is criminal. Criminal that, you know, we spend so much time in this aiming area of the map. We're waiting for the enemies to pinch us from behind and fuck us up. And in the same time, our gecko is moving into the bomb site. And what are we doing? We're holding the peak at the backside. I mean, this can work. But still, you know, this passive playstyle, especially in eco rounds, half by rounds, it doesn't make any sense.
Fake teleport. Cutting through.
Nice shot. I really hope we are aware that there can be one enemy behind us. Like, another thing that we noticed in this match is that when we are pushing A side, enemies like to take the space behind us through window. That's also a great information to have. Because if your teammates are passive and bad, we can maybe fake the A push, you know, tell our teammates to go A, and we are trying to catch these idiots that are pushing mid off guard. Like, remember, Valorant is the game of chess. Like, you're consistently trading the pieces. And you're trying to find the most optimal way to trade the pieces in a way that is gonna work in your favor. Like here, you know. Okay, we got Habaki.
Shadows traveling.
Listen, while you were pushing through this A short area of the map, you needed to clear the angles a bit better. I mean, we have no idea if one enemy is like behind us, if maybe one enemy also pushed the A short. Like, this smoke here was fine. Basically, with this smoke now we can enter it, clear this, maybe take a kill if enemies are stupid and aggressive, and then rotate back with the Yoru. But still, as you were passing through this A short area of the map, it would have been much better if you played with the Sheriff while you were clearing the angles, and then when you're close to the smoke, you actually pull out the back kill. Also, the smoke was a bit premature. You know, like, if you already wanted to, because it's gonna expire. Like, if you already want to get into that smoke and try to outplay the enemies, clear these angles with the Sheriff and proper angle clearing. Do the trial and smoke here. Clear this position, this spot, and now pull out the Bucky, move into the smoke sideways, clear all of this, and now we can maybe use a fake shrouded steps to reveal the enemies as a recon tool, and then swing for a fight. Please, for the love of God, never, but literally never, enter the smokes looking straight forward. Like, it's just a suicide move. Like, whenever you're entering the smoke, always do it like this. With the shoulder. Bam. And if you're shifting, do it with a silent step mechanic. Do it faster. Like here, for example. I'm not shifting into this smoke and doing this. As I'm hitting the smoke, I'm releasing my shift key, my walk key, and I'm holding my W and D to move into the smoke. And abusing the silent step mechanic. Basically, I'm abusing this window of time where you don't make a footstep while you're actually running. This is way too slow of a push into the smoke. And if one enemy is in the smoke, you're just dead. Like, no matter what type of age. I mean, you should be dead. Now here we made a mistake. Like, I mean, before the smoke expired, we had to clear, you know, these angles on the right. And to check if the enemies are here and here. Because if they're there, and they make that type of a mistake, if we kill one enemy right now, we're 2 versus 2, and we'll have such an easy time winning this round. Because then, after the smoke expires, we can do another trial and smoke. And then from this smoke, we can once again use a fake shrouded steps to reveal the enemies. and then go for the peek while the enemies are distracted with a proper crosshair placement. With the sheriff or Baki, I don't know, if enemies are close.
Sky killed.
Okay, we know that one guy is B, and one guy is long. Right? Long? What? Okay, his tower actually, what the fuck? Okay, I mean, here he has a sheriff. Just pull out the sheriff and try to kill that clove. I know that clove has the operator, but I mean, if she misses the shot and you go for a wide swing, there's a huge chance you're gonna take that kill. With 31 HP, like, I don't know, you play way too scared. We're playing an equal round, half by round. Who the fuck cares if we win or lose this round? Like, don't be, you know, but fuck the confidence, man. Listen, just play for fun, you know? Play to learn, play to learn. Play to experience the things. Well, what is this, man, like? Who you... No. There's no way he kills that Cypher, man. Sorry, man, like, you just take that kill, but I'm speechless, literally.
More meddling.
The funny thing is, like, if he actually used the sheriff there, he would have won this round. What the fuck am I watching? Like this is insanity, man. This is insanity. But a much better play in this round would have been if you actually swung this clove and tried to delete that clove, because clove only has one bullet. And usually in this elo, if you go for a wide swing and a fast Ferrari peek, players don't have good enough reaction time to actually kill you. So here, when you knew that Chloe is holding that angle, you could have done this, and then, with the Shrouded Steps, reveal the enemy Cypher, kill the Cypher. This was just lucky, literally, like that, you know. We almost won the round like this. Luck is a part of Valorant. Huge part, obviously. But still, like, you need to understand what is a good play and what is a bad play. Claw peeking at 3 seconds left like that, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. Sorry. Give me some lemonade. Lemonade. Okay, man. Now, as I said, in the first 4 to 6 rounds, you know, try pushing the enemies on A and C, on Haven. But if those executes are not working, then you need to turn your focus on the B side. Like right now, our A and C executes are shit. Let's try to punish the enemies in garage. Let's try to punish the enemies on B side. Very important tip on Haven. If you ever notice at the start of the round that your teammates are going for this type of a peak, 3 solutions. Solution number 1. As soon as the round starts, drop a paranoia and try to support your teammates with a paranoia, in case that enemies are pushing us on mid. If you don't have that info, like enemies never pushed you on mid, give your teammates a mid-air smoke as soon as the round starts from this position. Or from the window. Like, just do this. Bam. There is a chance that that smoke is actually gonna protect them and prevent them from dying like imbeciles. Solution number 3. Spam the enemies through the wall based on where you think they're playing. We might apply enough pressure to distract the enemies on the B side and to make them miss the shots onto our allies. And the solution number 4, as soon as the round starts, teleport here, and from this position, support your allies, and that's it. Or, just be ready to swing, together with your teammates, but peeking window, without a flash, without any recon utility, is most of the times just a suicide. Because enemies can be on so many different positions, it is mega hard. It's almost impossible to have a proper crosshair placement ready for the enemies. An enemy that is watching you and holding you with the operator, he is only holding one angle at that moment of time. And this is a suicide peak on Haven. Now,
Get out of my way!
Shadows traveling.
Don't get it.
what the fuck? Neon slide. Okay. Neon slided? Did a slide in the garden with the judge? Okay.
Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Cover going out.
Time to jump.
Listen here. First of all, as soon as we killed the Neon in the garage, I would have called for the fast push on C side. Because we know, based on the previous rounds, that like two enemies are always playing A. They're usually playing one enemy on B side and one enemy on C. So in this round here, our Phoenix took the C long area of the map. Garage is fully clear because we killed the Neon. Fuck it. Like, just try to isolate that one enemy on the C side before the rest of the enemy team connects with that guy. Taking this fight on mid was just unnecessary. Like, you know, as I said, if enemies are pinching you from behind, most of the times a bit better idea is to fuck up the enemies on the site and play with your most aggressive teammates and open the bomb site instead of wasting your time dealing with the enemies that are behind you, especially if those enemies are too far away from you. Like this Jet and this Sky, or whoever the fuck is behind us, they need some time to connect with the Clove that is on C side and with the Cypher that is possibly right now around the C link. Deal with the Clove, open the C side, and then deal with the Cypher and others later. Also, whenever enemies are stuck somewhere, like this Jet for an example here, inside of the window on the right side. Paranoia, flush that enemy, engage that enemy with the Shrouded Steps, kill the Jet, and then that's it. And why would you fight a clean fight here? No reason. Literally no reason.
It's good what they.
I mean, especially with that Phoenix ultimate pushing through C long, like just you know, just ignore these idiots behind you. Like we should have killed the Clove and Cypher on C side, and then deal with us Jet and Sky later. Like, you know, if you open the site and we kill two of their teammates, it's basically GG. I don't want to ask what happened there. Yeah. Okay, because we noticed in the previous round that like enemy Neon likes to peek the garage. The first time we noticed that someone in the enemy team likes to peek the garage. When you're pushing through the garden, or your teammates are pushing through the garden, hold this angle for around 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, and then push with them. Just be sure that no one is gonna die from that peak. Hold this angle as tight as your reaction time allows you. We go for 1 bullet or a burst fire, and then we can re-engage that enemy with a peeker's advantage and proper crosshair placement, and finish him off.
I'll handle this.
Map awareness 0.0000 points. If your Yoru is using the ultimate, you need to pay more attention on the minimap. Like in this elo, I highly doubt in Europe anyone is speaking. I mean, generally in Europe, like players have the autism and a bit of a hard time like opening their mouth. Like, so you need to pay, like, you need to spend some time on the minimap. Like, if you're already pushing the garage, take a sneak peek. See where the fuck is that Neon that you just saw on your screen. Like, no one is in garage right now. Jet and Sky are on the A side. B is fully open, while Cypher and Neon are on the C side. Run. Run. Smoke the garage. Smoke the CT. Flash the enemies on C. Kill the Neon. Kill the Cypher. Open the site. That's it.
No, you don't. Blinding.
This level of unawareness, I've never seen in my life, literally, like. I've never seen this in my life, like. I've coached so many players, but that during this whole time, during your whole Yoru ultimate, you didn't check minimap once. That's unacceptable. Thankfully, there is a training for map awareness as well, and I'm gonna share that training with you, maybe one of the trainings, and we'll see how effective it's gonna be.
Cutting through.
Shadows traveling.
Flash! That the spike wings. Sorry, bro. Over here. Time to jump.
Sky killed.
This is crazy, man. Like, listen. First of all, I highly recommend you to go onto my Discord server. Just a second, I'm gonna share this right now with everyone. Go onto my Discord server, and on Discord server, like, find in As the Coach a post that is called Minimap Blindness. This is the post. Read everything that I've explained in this post. Is gonna give you a bit better idea when to look at the minimap and when not to look at the minimap. You'll get a bit better idea. After this VOD review, you will get some additional training to fix this problem. Like, your general awareness is very low. Very, very poor. Also, yes, there is one guy that said in the chat, Omen and Yoru combo, Yoru Ultimate and Omen Paranoia is a great combo to get a free kills in Valorant. Why? Because Yoru doesn't get flashed when you put a Paranoia on him. Like, when you have Yoru in your team, like, that is pushing garage, tell that Yoru brother, as soon as you see an enemy, I'm gonna flash that enemy for you, pop out of your ultimate, and kill that motherfucker. That's it. Here, like, Yoru was hunting that Neon. He saw Neon and Cypher here. Instead of you wasting time, there, you should have smoked the garage, smoked the city, drop the Paranoia on Yoru, Cypher, and Neon. Yoru gets out of the ultimate, 3 kills. Literally 3 kills. This round was way too complicated for no reason. Also, I mean, one thing that we noticed in these 7 rounds is that actually no one is guarding B site, as far as we can see. Like, enemies are usually gambling either more towards C or towards A. And as I said, like, I mean, if your 5-man executes on C and A are not working that great, especially in these matches where enemies are not putting any Sentinels utility on C site, and generally they don't have anyone on B site, then just go B. But in this round, once again, we have a problem. Your teammates are peeking the window, you know, going for that swing. Like, we need to support those teammates. We have 5 ways how we can support them, and I have explained in the, you know, previous scenario.
Shadows traveling.
Don't do this shit. You know, I mean, I get it. I get it. If you really want to prevent the enemies from peeking you from garage, just do a one-way smoke. Like, it goes up here on top of the doors and do this. But, you know, a bit I don't know how that went down. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm mentally disabled. Up there. But if that... I mean, it's okay. It's okay to do that if you want to do a 5-man push on B, and you don't have any recon or sentinels utility to reveal the enemies pushing together. It's okay, because anyways, when you're pushing the B side of Haven, the most important smoke is the smoke for A link. Smoke for C link is important, but nowhere near this smoke here. So it's totally fine. If you're afraid that enemies might go through there, okay, do the one way, do this smoke, do the paranoia for the left side, and maybe a C link as well, like this. Do the shrouded steps here, enter the site, plant the spike, and we can just fall back as well and play the postman from B main and window.
Cover going out.
I mean, you in this round, you literally just gave the enemies 2 smokes. I mean, I don't know. Like, in this match, we never saw anyone on B. Enemies are usually pushing together. This smoke is mega risky right now. Like, enemies can pop out with a sky flash, neon with a slide at any moment of time and fuck us up. Plus, enemies like to lurk and flank. So already, there is a chance that enemy Jet and Sky are lurking behind us through A main. Also, the best moment of time to default in Valorant on the attacker side is when enemies are way too aggressive and way too repetitive on a defender's side. Like, in this round here, if you just call for a default and you hold the enemy's push through A long, 2 kills, guaranteed. One minimum. One minimum. Maybe, we can tell our teammates like Phoenix, do a few bullets in C long. You do this smoke and just hold the enemy's push through A long, maybe from this off angle. I don't know. Or just hold the A short peak. Or hold an angle like this for an example. And try to fuck up the enemies coming through A long. Like, enemies were just way too repetitive in this match. And that is the main thing that you want to abuse. Those are the easy, so many footsteps. This is not gonna end up well. How do we push the smoke?
Cutting through.
Listen, man. Especially if you do this type of a smoke. So you do this smoke and you want to enter the B side. Use a paranoia on the left side and teleport in this corner. And from this corner, clear this, enter the smoke to clear the smoke. We can maybe use a recon shrouded step for the right side and allow your teammates to move in. But here, running inside of this smoke, like this, and then exiting the smoke like this, while the enemy can be there. Your Gecko ultimate saw nothing. Your Gecko ultimate just went Estoy loco on the right side. It didn't clear any of these spots. You need to be safer than this.
Cutting through.
And by the way, listen. Teleporting on top of the bomb site, anywhere on B site, here or here, is something that you should never do if you don't have a smoke for A link or C link. Like, this position doesn't exist for you if you don't have the A link smoke. This position here doesn't exist for you if you don't have both of these smokes. It's way too risky and unnecessary. Because when you're pushing the B side like of Haven, most of the time, all you need to do with Omen is just Paranoimus Rex left side, teleport here, and only in the post plant. Like, if you have time to do it, and you have everything is safe, we've killed all of the enemies, we push them back, then, maybe teleport, I don't know, like, on this spot. Maybe do a one-way smoke here, one-way smoke here. Like, I don't know. You can experiment a bit more. What's even the reason getting up here? Being fully exposed from both A-link, C-link, backside, everywhere? No need to do that. Anyways, this push, number one, took us way too much time. When you're pushing B side, you need to have at least the smoke for the A link. We cannot do the smoke in garage and top of the B and then enter the site without any smokes. Way too risky. Number three, when you notice that enemies are pushing you way too many times on a defender side on any map, call for a default, hold the area of the map where you think that enemies are most likely to push, punish those enemies, regroup, hit something together. They won this round, bro. Stojo loco, man. Stojo loco. When you're pushing C side, try the TP thing that I've explained in the previous rounds. You know, especially if enemies are holding C hard. Otherwise, if you just want to push C fast, this is how you do it with Omen. We do instant smoke here, jump spot the enemies, use your teammates as a human shield to run into this angle, and do this smoke. Flash the enemies on the right, and move in with your allies. Or we can use a TP to get in this corner, or on top of the site, reveal the enemies and pressure them. If no one is looking at you, you can just commit to the teleport, drop down and, you know, enter the site. If enemies kill you or they see you, cancel and move in with your allies. But the big problem in this match is that these teammates are really bad when it comes to executes. So you will need to do some kind of an aggressive play from the ranked playbook. Why is A-link smoke more important than C-link smoke? Because like you're more like enemies from A-link see more than the enemies from the C-link. Like when you're pushing the B side, essentially you can hide in this corner and be fully hidden from the enemies in both A-link and C-link. Here, you can just isolate the enemies in C-link. But we cannot play here without this smoke. Essentially. And also we cannot go for this type of a play if you don't have the smoke there. It's easier to enter the site. Like, essentially, and most of the times, when you're entering the B side, you should have a paranoia for the left side. And just doing this. And it's so easy to pressure the enemies back from the left. While on the right, we need to have a smoke in order to do this. Also, when you're pushing, if you're pushing the B bomb site from left to right, like this, you're always in a crossfire between C-link and A-link without the smoke. But if you're pushing the site from left to right like this, you can isolate the fights in C-link without being exposed from the A-link at all.
Shadows traveling. Cover going out.
This smoke setup doesn't exist in any playbook or any like I don't know, maybe Dr. Freezy is teaching you this. Like, first of all, if you're doing this smoke here, listen, the most important smoke when you're pushing the C side only through C long is the smoke for garage. Like, this smoke we need to have, essentially. And the second smoke, if we're not using it in a default way, you know, then we can use for some aggressive play. We cannot use this smoke and then top it off with a CT smoke. And then when our teammates are coming here, they're mega fucked. The enemies can peek from the garage at any moment of time. You know, do this, bop, hide, bop, hide, bop, hide. bop, hide, bop. You get the point. Not having the getter smoke is really, really bad. That smoke also is mega bad. Like, you know, remember that precision of your smokes is always more important than speed. Speed is gonna come over with time, you know? Speed is gonna come over with time. Precision is important. So, you know, this smoke always goes in the middle of the site. Then, listen. If you're already using your ultimate to enter the site, fuck the smoke. Do the default setup. Like, do this. Jump spot. Push with your allies. Do this. Give your teammates a paranoia. And then enter with the ultimate. And as you can see in this game, like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of stupid. In every single match where enemies are way too aggressive on the defender side, it is stupid not punishing their aggression. Like, these guys were pushing behind us 24/7. Just fake something. You know, like, initiate a push somewhere. Wait for these enemies to push you from behind. Clap them. Go onto their side and that's it. Like, Jet and Sky were pushing A side so many times. I mean, every time when we hit something, enemies are behind us. Default, fake, punish the enemies, that's it. I know, maybe your teammates are not gonna be able to comprehend this big brain strategy that requires like 20 IQ, but thankfully you're playing Omen. You know, with Omen, listen here. If you ever end up in this situation where enemies are way too aggressive on a defender side and they're always pressuring you from behind, you don't need to play with your teammates. We have global smokes and ultimate. So essentially, you know, your teammates are pushing C, enemies are pushing A 24/7. Do the smokes from here for your allies and hold the A push. And punish the enemies. Hold this maybe, you know, all the way from the spawn, like this. Bop, bop, bop. Kill the enemies, and now with the ultimate, you reconnect with your teammates. Or, maybe we kill 2 enemies before our teammates even end up on site. And we have the free A side control. And we can just go A. Our teammates died with a spike on C. No problemo. No problemo, hombre. We have the ultimate. We pick up the spike, plant the spike somewhere we can do some one-way smokes and see the spike, you know? That's it. Like, one of the main benefits of playing Omen and Yoru as well is that because of the teleports and ultimate, in these type of matches where team play is really hard and executes are not working, and you can actually punish the enemy somewhere alone, it is really good to use that opportunity to actually punish the enemies. This smoke here was really bad, like mega dangerous. Like you know, enemies can play inside of it, around it, like hide it. Like, I don't know. This smoke is like really bad, especially because in this round, enemies are equal hull by. Now, whenever enemies are equal hull by, you never want to go for some aggressive play. Do the default setup and try to punish the enemies based on the gun advantage. And just playing a proper refrag game. Do the proper utility usage, fuck up the enemies.
I've got your trail.
Listen, if enemies are already close to you, you know, instead of these type of smokes, if you don't know exactly where is that enemy, don't spam the smoke. Because you reveal your location and you give the confidence to that enemy to push you and peek you. Like, for an example, if I'm that Cypher, you know, and I'm inside of that smoke, or let's say I'm playing Omen and you're here. If you start spamming the smoke, and I see the bullet tracers, and I see exactly where you are, you just give me more confidence to peek you and kill you. Like, if you don't know exactly where are the enemies in the smoke, wait for that smoke to disappear. Or flash the enemies and try to, you know, maybe outplay them or enter the smoke with a shorty and just delete that guy. By the way, that is another thing that I didn't speak about, but I'm probably, you know, in every single VOD review, like, shorty should be your main, primary, secondary weapon. Like, in every single round, when you can afford the shorty, with a Vandal, Phantom, Operator, Guardian, Bulldog, buy the shorty. Stinger as well, Spectre. Like, shorty is such an easy weapon for these type of scenarios. Like, Cypher is in that smoke. No problemo. Drop a Paranoia. Enter with a shorty, bop bop. Get that guy on the other world. And then deal with the rest of the enemy team. But to be honest, the main problem in that round is like going for this aggressive play and then the setup that he did. Whenever enemies are eco and hull by on a defender's side, never do the aggressive outplays. Do the like always push an open area of the map where essentially like enemies cannot fuck you up with the close range weapons. You know, on Haven that's like C long, A long. You have higher chance of winning those rounds. And just do the default smokes, default paranoia. Be very careful when you're entering the enemy smokes. You know, we can use the shrouded steps as a recon tool to exit the smoke, so essentially. And just enter the site in the most default way. And just fight the long range fights, medium range fights, and, you know, support your allies. What is really criminal in this VOD is like not abusing the B set more, because enemies are not even defending B, and not punishing this repetitiveness of the enemies, you know, like, I mean, I don't know, enemies are really pushing behind us, you know? What is this part of my hair, man, like? Listen, if you want to bunny hop into this angle, like, you don't... I like this a lot. Like, you don't start bunny hopping from here. You know, just when you're close to this angle, bam. 2 hops, you know. 1, 2. And then bop, and then bop. I don't know, I really think that that paranoia is a bit of a waste. Because enemies were never really re-aggressing us in the aiming area of the map. Jet is behind us. She pushed short. I really hope we are aware of that. But all of these problems are mainly the problems of minimap awareness. Nothing else. Like, let me give you an example without the sound. So here. So, when should he look at the minimap? Here we're pushing this. I'm looking at this part of the screen. I want to reveal the enemies. Now, when I get into this position, if I want to use a paranoia, I look at the minimap. We heard the daggers of the enemy jet coming from short. So here, I'm pushing here, so I cannot look at the minimap. Now, I have 2 teammates in front of myself. I'm looking at the minimap to see what my teammates are doing in A short. Are they holding it? And what's happening behind me? And do we see any enemies? And throughout this whole push here, especially while I'm doing the smoke, I'm only looking at the minimap. Nothing else. I do the smoke. I notice my teammates are not holding the A short. And we heard that jet doing the knives from short and pushing behind us. Also, Neon is pushing behind us through the mid. My spike is behind me. I don't have the ultimate to pick it up. What do? Fuck the Yoru, fuck the Phoenix. My teammates behind are getting pinched. I need to help them. Who the fuck cares about Yoru and Phoenix? If I lose the spike behind me, I need to retrieve the spike. And I'm playing on the attacker's side. So that is how much you should actually look at the minimap. And I will not even do the smokes. Fuck the smokes. Okay, maybe the tower smoke. Second smoke, no way. We're not pushing the side now. We need to help our teammates from behind, kill the enemy jet on short, and kill the Neon. You need to spend more time looking at the minimap. Okay, we're going for the solar lurk through mid. To be honest,
Cover going out.
here, this also might work. But the problem is, like, if you're already going for a lurk and flank, you know, this smoke setup that you're doing, I don't know, like, you know, you don't have a jet, no one can capitalize. I mean, okay, you're protecting your teammates from the backside peak, but if I'm already lurking and flanking through mid, I would just do a default setup, you know, get a smoke here, CT smoke, and then go for the lurk and flank. This actually might work, because his teammates are not that fast when they're pushing the sites. He might get the kills on the enemies that are pushing behind us. These type of games are also the perfect moments of times to actually lurk and flank a bit more. Like when your teammates are way too scared to push into bomb sites, enemies are rotating fast, and enemies are pushing behind us. That's a perfect moment of time to flank, lurk, and capitalize on the kills on these stupid enemies. Because there's a very low chance that our teammates are gonna do some mega fast execute. Good job. This is the first time I saw anyone do the lurk and flank at the right moment of time. Ever. How did you learn Italian? Some days ago you speak often Italian during live. I can understand Italian a bit. You know, kind of like pessimo, you know, like my Italian is not really molto bene, but like I understand it. I can communicate basic shit. While I was in Italy, I was just studying Duolingo and then watching some Italian YouTube videos. Like I learned languages really, really fast, essentially. It's still not good. You know, I would say my Italian is like 4 out of 10, maybe. You know, I can order food. I can ask for the trains, stuff like that.
For you.
Plant the spike, wings.
Il treno per Verona! Oh, yo, what the fuck are these smokes? Listen, whenever you see this type of fucked up smokes, you know, always expect the enemies to play around them. Like right now, there's a huge chance that one enemy is below you. This teleport up here was actually really good, because Phoenix is holding the CT for you, and, you know, your teammates are holding everything else. But we need to check below. Below! That smoke in the garage there was good, because if you want to play on this position, you need to have the garage smoke. If you don't have the garage smoke, get the fuck out of here. If enemies can actually peek you from the garage. And also, doing a one-way there would be really bad, because his Yoru is actually in that corner, you know, right here. And Omen can just die. I mean, Yoru can just die. What languages can you speak? A bit of Spanish, a bit of Italian. German is my third language. English is like my second. Russian I can understand a bit here and there, like something. I don't know. At some point I was learning Japanese, but you know, like it's like 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10 to be honest. Like I can, the basic stuff I know. That's kinda it to be honest, like. Okay. Solid round. Solid round. Basic German? Not really. Like I actually understand a lot of German shit, man. I kinda, you know, once again, like, I was learning German in a high school and high school and elementary school, middle school, and basically, like, I understand a lot of the German, a lot. The thing is, like, you know, when I'm speaking it, like, it's just like, you know, meine Deutschland nicht so gut, nicht so gut. It's hard for me to remember all of the deine, eine, meine, that type of shit, and like some of the words. What is this war, man? Like, this round is like crazy, bro. Scav German, I know. I didn't speak German for like at least like 8 years, 9 years. Kannst du auf Deutsch coachen? Nein. Do you watch football or interested in sports? Only Euro Cups and like World Cups, and that's it. I stopped watching football like around 14 years ago. I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of boring these days. Everyone is playing kind of passive football, like, you know, it's not that. You know, it was more I don't know. It was faster, better. And Manchester United is fucking shit. You know? And then for some reason I decided to cheer for Manchester United, you know? Like, and then I can't do it, man. Okay, in this round we decided to help our Yoru on mid. I mean, there's a huge chance that, you know, Neon and some of the enemies are gonna peek the garage again, so why not? We really needed to take that kill there. I mean, this was such an easy kill. I know that, you know, this really, you know, bad arch of our Yoru actually blocked us, but I think we could have got a kill there on Neon. Especially now, when the Neon repeat that, I think we could have held her and actually killed her. Now remember, when you're like, you know, when you're playing Omen, why is map awareness also important? Is like, because of your paranoia. You will notice in my gameplay, how many times I actually support my teammates with a paranoia, even if I'm not fighting with them, the specific enemy. Like, for example, I just played a match of Bind, like, and every single time when I was not doing something proactive, I was not fighting the enemies, or I heard some random gunshots, I took a look at the minimap, and I always ask myself, can I support my teammates with a paranoia from this specific spot? Like, a lot of times, you know, when I'm rotating from B to A, like, I'm always looking if I can actually do this paranoia to support my teammates in the lamps. Because from this spot, you can actually paranoid the enemies here if your teammates are fighting them from this position. Or from this position, you can literally stop the enemy's push through the lamps and help your allies. Like here, in this example, you know, if your teammates are already taking some super long fight with the enemy jet there, push that jet back, you know, and allow your teammates to have easier time surviving or killing that jet. We really need to, like, you know, on the attacker side, you need to change your mindset a bit, how you play it around your allies, for what type of place you go, when should you be aggressive, when should you be passive, your map awareness needs to be better. Like, mechanical skill is not good, you know, it's really not the best, but what's more concerning is, like, your overall awareness in the game, and that's something that we need to fix with training. Okay, here somehow, I don't know, like, our team has got these 3 kills. So what does this mean to us? This means that A set is clear. Charlatan, how do you know A set is clear? Cypher was playing C 24/7. Claw was playing somewhere on B, garage, some fast rotations. I have no idea what Claw was doing in this whole match. She was never on any bomb site, but he was like in somewhere in the middle. Here, run it down A. And definitely don't end up on C because Cypher has a full setup there. Also, speak to your teammates a bit more. I'm not asking you to be an IGL. You don't need to micromanage and micro-correct your teammates, but tell them, give them the ideas. Hey guys, Cypher is on C. If we go C now, we might get fucked. Let's regroup together, and let's push the A side together. And win this round together. Hey guys, we have a numbers advantage. We don't need to fight alone anymore. Let's regroup A, regroup C, regroup B, hit something together. Glory, glory, Manchester United, bro. Smoke tower. Very good. This is why we should have regrouped and pushed A together a long time ago. I mean, as soon as you saw that Phoenix pushing A side, you should have followed that Phoenix. And in these type of scenarios, like, I actually don't give a fuck who carries the spike. Because you're very close to the ultimate. If you pick the A orb and take a kill, you have the ultimate to pick up the spike. Anyways, like, there's 1 minute to plant the spike. Like, in these type of scenarios, you want to play with your most aggressive ally. Very good paranoia. Now we need to be aware that, you know, so much time passed. Like, right now, like, you know, there's a chance that Cypher is anywhere. We need to deal with this Clove. Okay, before the Cypher picks us. Okay. A bit scuffed ending there, but it could have been worse, to be honest. It could have been worse. I don't know. Like, there's so many of these micro things that you need to fix in your gameplay. It's really hard for me to give you only one tip. Instead of giving you some tips here for your attacker side, because you already see, you know, what you can do better, after this VOD review, I'm just gonna give you some kind of a training that's gonna improve your overall attacker side. When it comes to the mechanics, like, as I said, that they're not good, like, they can be much better, but you don't need to focus that much on aim training. Like, really, like, how you play the game in general is far more important. How you think inside of the game right now. Now, let's see what you're doing on the defender side. Okay, now, welcome to the defender side of Haven. Let's do a bit of a TLDR. Your default bomb site and number 1 priority on Haven is A site. Number 2 priority, C site. Number 3 priority, B site and mid area of the map. Essentially, on Haven, most of your rounds, you should be starting on either C site or A site and trying to counter the enemies there. And mid area of the map, you should only play when enemies are eco or halby on the attacker side, because chances are higher that they will try to do something in garage and mid. And if you're not really certain where the enemies are gonna go, and you need to gamble a bit. You know, you need to gamble between B site and A site, C site and B site, C site and garage. Like, then, you know, you should be starting your rounds around the B, C link, and A link. Also, another tip, based on enemies' repetitiveness and what they're doing, depends where you want to play. You know, like, basically, if you notice that enemies are heavily pressuring you in garage and on the B site, you know, playing garage and B site and counter the enemies yourself. Fuck what your teammates say, you know, especially when you're playing Omen. Oh, you're playing Omen, you should play C site. Brother, I'm playing with a potential Paralympic player, potential mental disability, and a potential, I don't know. You get the point. Like, it's ranked solo queue. You cannot trust your teammates in the first 4 rounds. You position yourself based on the general rules that we follow in Valorant, ranked solo queue, to have higher chances of winning those rounds. Now, after the 4th round, you need to ask yourself, do I have good teammates on the defender side that I can trust? Answer is yes. Okay, then you can fill in the gaps and play in a default way. You have bad teammates that are consistently losing the map control, and you're playing the retakes or they just cannot contest the enemies, gamble more. If you think enemies are gonna go A, you have 3 teammates on A side. Start on A side. Fuck it. At the end of the day, we're gonna play a 5v5 retake on C with all of our teammates alive. And you're not gonna play like 2 versus, 1 versus 5 retake if all of your teammates die. First round, we always gamble and start on the A side. And second round, we always play in the garage. And those are the general rules that we follow. And then the third and fourth round, we play based on what happened in the first 2 rounds. So in the first round with Omen, to be honest, I would always go for the classic pistol shorty play because it is the best. It guarantees you 1 kill. You can easily outplay the enemies through your smokes. And you can maybe get even 2-3 kills and put a lot of pressure in the A short area of the map and lock down the A short. So strategy is very simple. I think even Jesus Christ knows this strategy. Like, I've been repeating this from close beta, essentially. So we started the barrier, drop the shorty, buy the light shield with 1 shrouded step, or you can buy 2 smokes, paranoia, and 1 shrouded step. This second option without a light shield, I recommend you in high elo lobbies, and in low and medium elo lobbies, go with a light shield. You start the round by doing this and playing inside of this corner. Our job is just to kill the enemies in A short. Play in this position fully tucked in. If enemies are droning you, or they are revealing you with some recon abilities, smoke yourself. Like this. We have this gap where we can dodge the enemy's drone and enemy's recon abilities. Bop bop. Kill an enemy and get back onto site. Or continue fighting the enemies in A short and try to get more kills. Why not? If you feel confident. The whole strategy is explained in my ranked playbook, so you can just, watch that. Go hunt my brother. And everything else I would save for other rounds. Like for first full buy rounds, eco rounds, and stuff like that. It's just better to save these strategies for a bit later. Let's see what our friend Gohan is gonna do. Playing here with a ghost, I mean, okay. We're definitely gonna lock down the A short area of the map, and like we're gonna kill the enemies. Probably, like, get 1 kill at least. But on this position, you never want to start immediately. Like, basically, if I'm defending A site and I want to play up here, I'm gonna start my round by maybe doing this and going for a 1 bullet or 2 bullets, and then teleporting up here and doing this smoke. 2 reasons for this. Why wouldn't I take 1 additional angle to potentially kill the enemies? Maybe if I hold this, go for 1 bullet, maybe I'm gonna kill 1 enemy. You never know. Or dink 1 enemy. Also, second reason is I'm not wasting a shrouded step. If our gamble is wrong and enemies are pushing B side and C side, this shrouded step is very, very important for the retake of C and B as well. Because if you're retaking, for example, C side in this first round, what you want to do is you want to smoke the top of the site here, smoke the choke point, and do this type of a teleport. Not that type of charlatan, like stop missing your TPs, do this type of a teleport. And then from this position, we're peeking the enemies on the contact between enemies and our teammates. This teleport here applies enormous amount of mental and physical pressure onto enemies. And this smoke here, this allows the enemies to peek your teammates like this and like this. Enemies cannot play here. They can only play backside here or front side there. And we isolate them in 2 gunfights. So that's why, like, first of all, this is a waste of a shrouded step. You should never, with Omen, like, play on this position immediately without getting any info. For example, let's say you want to play C side. You want to play this position passively. Jiggle peek the enemies. Start the round by jump spotting the enemies or trying to get a kill here and then teleport. Much more unpredictable, much better, and we're not wasting a shrouded step. If you want to hold this angle in some kind of a double tower setup, then we need to use the TP immediately, of course. And this smoke was also wasted. Why did we use such a fast smoke without any information whether or not enemies are pushing A short? Like, we do the smokes, passive smokes, always on the contact between enemies and our team. Like, only sometimes you want to do the smokes immediately when you are going for some place, when your teammates are going for some place, or if it is a part of some kind of a strategy. Also, in this round, we should have started rotating long time ago. Like, long time ago. Here, we see the sky and jet. Fuck it. Go, 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 go. You know? To be honest, even before that, I would start rotating, because you need to remember, in the first round, 99% of times, enemies are going to have this call out. Hey guys, let's do a 5-man push somewhere together. If you don't see enemies crossing the aim in for the first 3 seconds of a round, you can instantly start rotating. This smoke here is bad because it has no purpose. First of all, it is missed. Second of all, what is this smoke for? Like, literally, right now, there's nowhere to smoke. Like, even this Phoenix, he's fucked. Like, there's nowhere to smoke for this Phoenix. I would have saved this smoke to have it for the retake right now. I mean, right now, he should have had Shrouded Steps and both smokes available for the retake. And all 3 of these utilities are wasted. Imagine right now, if he had both of his smokes and a Shrouded Step. This is an easy round. We smoke long, smoke top of the site, teleport on top of the site, and from top of the site, just peek on the contact between Gecko, Yoru, and enemies. Okay, okay. Mechanics are not really mechanicking for this guy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, as I said, my friend, like, when it comes to mechanical skill during my VOD reviews, I sometimes explain how to fix certain mechanical problems. But these raw mechanical problems is just stupid to talk about them, because there's no reason to talk about it. Like, there's so many videos, so many guides on how to fix mechanical skill, it is just stupid. Like, usually what I do when I do these tier 3 sub VOD reviews, I watch them 2 times. First time on the stream, second time off stream, and then based on all of the major mechanical problems that you have, you're gonna get some kind of an aim training routine. But here, like, as I said, like, having those 2, like, a lot of wasted utility, man. Like, you cannot do such a blind utility and without any purpose, essentially. And also, during these, like, 3v3 retakes, I would recommend you to play a bit more reserved. You know, like, here... But to be honest, he had a Gecko flash, so I cannot blame him. Like, I would also go for a swing and try to catch the Cypher and kill the Cypher there. And there's no way I would expect the Sky playing there with a short. Like, that's out of my imagination. Yeah, in a 1v1 scenario, using the Gecko to pressure the Clove. These gold and platinum lobbies are something different, man. Always fun watching it. Now listen, as I said, second rule on a defender side of Haven is that second round you always play in the garage. Because no matter if enemies win or lose the first round, chances are around 80% statistically that enemies will try to do something on B side in a second round. Lock down the garage with the one-way smokes. You know, if you lose the first round, you can just go for the classic shorty with one shrouded step, and then if the enemies are pushing garage, just drop this type of a smoke, dodge the enemy's utility through the smoke, kill one guy, take his gun, and you know, we can either escape or continue our aggression. If you win the first round, I mean, on Haven you have a lot of options that you can do. You can maybe buy Ares with a heavy shield shorty and utility and try to spam this corner right here. Try to kill enemies there. Ares is now, you know, good on Haven, Lotus, and Ascent on the defender side. It got buffed a bit. You can maybe go for a Stinger, shorty, heavy shield, and utility and just lock down the garage area of the map like this and do the one-way smoke and play fast rotations between C and B. You can buy the Outlaw with a light shield or heavy shield and just hold the window a bit more passively, like try to get the kills with a shorty as well. You can buy a Judge with a heavy shield and classic, bait the enemies to come towards you with a classic, and then drop the smoke and play in the smoke with a Judge and kill the enemies. Like, there are so many things you can do. It really depends what you prefer. But in a second round, there is not a single case scenario where I would play on the A side in the second round. If I'm playing with the Jesus Christ, like, I'm gonna tell Jesus, sorry man, like, next time. The reason for that is just statistical data. Like, I need to repeat one more time. Valorant is the game of numbers. Gambling game of numbers. Game of scenarios, game of chess, and a game of adaptiveness. And, you know, a certain play is never going to work 100% of times. But if something works 60 to 80% of times, that is still better than doing a 50-50 gamble. Even if something works 51% of times, it is better than doing a 50-50 gamble. I have like so many documents from my coaching. Like, I collected so much fucking data from ranked solo queue. And every play that I do, at least when I'm grinding seriously, makes some kind of a sense, essentially, based on these 4 factors. Good kill. Now we need to lock down. Oh, behind us! Listen here. Like, if you're playing A long, and enemies pass you fast on A short, and you don't have anyone A short, always give up the A long area of the map. I would have left this Phoenix to Jesus Christ. Because Neon players are very dumb. They're just gonna run you down on the side with a shorty Bucky and just kill you. Also, like, you know, they have a Jet. She can dash fast into the site. Like, essentially, when you're holding A long, you usually just hold it for one fight. Try to get a kill with 1 bullet, maybe 2 bullets with the Outlaw. Reload and lock down the short if no one else is locking down the A short area of the map. We still won the round, but yeah. So in this round, enemies pushed A, and they actually rotated back to C. So this is how you should think in Valorant. So in the first round, enemies split the C side through garage, and they failed. In the second round, they went on A, they failed again. So, based on the rule of fear, AB rule, and all of the things that I've explained previously, this round we need to gamble a bit more. And the gamble that we're gonna do is we're gonna start in the garage, passively, locking down the garage, and locking down the B main in the same time, and playing a fast rotation towards the C side. Because in this round, once again, there is 80% of chances that enemies will do something in this area of the map. And only 20% of chances that enemies are going to do the A push again. And in this third bonus round, listen man, like, if your teammates are bonusing, bonus with them. You know, you win the first 2 rounds and your teammates are playing in the third bonus round, then bonus as well. You know, in this round, buy only a shorty with a light shield utility and try to take a kills in B main and get a choke point. Buy maybe a sheriff with a light shield. Buy a stinger with a light shield. You know, don't buy if your teammates are not forcing. If 3 or 4 of your teammates are forcing, then you force with them. Forcing in this round only makes sense if you are planning to buy some kind of an cheesy weapon in a 4th round. Like in a 4th round, if you want to play Bucky or Judge or Stinger and Shorty, like, then it's okay, but on Haven, like, you know, it doesn't make that much sense. And remember one tip. Whenever you're playing somewhere with a Judge or shotguns, these days, one thing that I started implementing to bait the shit out of the enemies is the following. Like, I start my round, especially these bonus round and eco rounds. I started my round with a classic pistol. And I'm just jiggle peeking for the information. Like, I'm just doing this. I'm giving the enemies confidence to push me in the garage, and then I'm getting in this position with the judge. There's two reasons why this is good. Number one, you give the enemies the confidence to push you because they hear the classic pistol, mental confidence. And number two, you actually reveal the enemies. You're not gonna get surprised by some random peek, you know, here, while you look at the minimap, for an example. Okay, our gamble failed again, but thankfully we have another information about the enemy team. What is that information? Enemies are doing just 5-man pushes. No one is lurking, no one is flanking, and that is the only info that we have. Thus, with that information, what we should do right now, mega fast rotation onto the A site. Fuck it, I'm getting out. Listen here, if your teammates are playing passively on the A site, and no one is playing in this area of the map, always give them this smoke setup when they're defending the A site from the backside, and from the tower, and from the CT. Like, this is the setup that he should have given his teammates right now. The smoke in short, the one way, or the smoke like this, you should give your teammates only when they're actually fighting for the short control. That smoke right now is a bit dangerous for Yoru, like. And I would have done a fast rotation here, like, there's no way, man. Already now, I would have been on the A site. Because that's the only info that we have about the enemies. You see? Like, they're just committing to the pushes. Like, in only one round, Cypher took the spike and rotated C. Like, you need to be more present in the first 4 rounds on both attackers and defenders side. And I'm gonna teach you how to do that in some of my private coaching videos that I'm gonna share with you. Like, what type of information you should get. But mostly, you know, what you're tracking on a defender side in the first 4 rounds about the enemies is like how they play on a macro and micro level. Are they maybe following some rules, such as AB and rule of fear, or some other rule when they're pushing? Like, what are enemies, you know, are they faking? Are they splitting? Stuff like that. And then you ask yourself what are they doing on a micro level. You know, what type of utility they're using. What each piece of utility means for the enemy team. Do they have somebody that likes to lurk, flank? Stuff like that. Like, you need to take the either physical or mental notes when it comes to these topics. You know, like, if you want to develop awareness in the games and develop a specific way of thinking, maybe, like, you know, start taking the physical notes during the rounds. What did you see and what happened? And then you will have the physical notes to tell you what you should do next and what you can expect. Like, in this round, like, maybe around 5 or 10 seconds ago, he should have been on A settle already. Now listen, if you're going for the A set retakes with a close range weapons, I highly recommend you to always save that one smoke for yourself before you connect with your allies. Like, here there was nobody to actually support, like, his teammate already died, like, I don't know. Now killing enemies here with the judge, we need to wait 14 seconds here. Like, there's nothing else that we can do. 14 seconds, and then we can actually pressure the enemies. Usually, my favorite thing to do, when I'm in these 1v2, 1v1 clutch scenarios, you know, on the A site, with a close range weapon is the following. We do the smoke in the middle of the bomb site like this, and then you don't teleport on top of the site, but at the bottom. Here. And then from this position, we wrap the enemies around. And then based where you think the enemies are, we can use the fake shrouded steps to reveal them and bait them a bit. And then once we get the info, we peek out. If enemies are not there, then enemies are probably here, or enemies are short. So with a close range weapon, we have all of the info that we need. So basically, like, you know, if an enemy is not there, then I can just do this peek and maybe kill that enemy there. Then if none of the enemies are there, I can just swing out and immediately close the gap with the enemies here to have the range to fight them. And now if enemies are A long, fuck it. You know, like if you don't have any more smokes, you need to close the gap with them or risk it a bit more, like for the biscuit, pull out the classic pistol, try to get the kills. But anyways, we have a Vandal there, so if enemies are not on site, we can take the Bulldog. Or what? I don't know what is that. Is that a Stinger Vandal? I don't know. Very good that he pulled the classic pistol here instead of the Judge. He should have destroyed this with a classic pistol. Once again, play with the enemy's mind. If enemies think that you have a classic pistol, there is a higher chances that they're gonna push you in a close range fight. Listen to that. Now we use a smoke. We know they're close. We can fuck them up.
Shadows traveling.
Ooh. I don't know about this, Chief. I mean, like, first of all, I would have picked the Vandal there. I would have 100% picked the Vandal there. And, you know, in this scenario, he didn't need to do anything special. Like, the only thing that he needed to do was a fake shrouded step. He already heard the Jet here and Sky here. And with this fake shrouded step, he could have just went for the peek with Sky, then used the fake shrouded steps to outplay the Jet, kill the Jet, and that's it. I don't know how he thought that the guy is under the site. I mean, at least I heard the Sky here, and I heard the Jet there. I don't know what is this audio unawareness. Like, check maybe if you are on the stereo mono, like, I don't know what's happening here. Now, in this round here, it is totally fine to gamble on either A site or C site. You know, we don't really know where the enemies are gonna go, what they're gonna do. So, on this map, you're just doing the gambles on A and C if you already want to gamble on some bomb site. And if the enemies are not abusing the B and garage too many times. Classic shorty, okay. Okay, we can do this. But the only problem here is, like, we need to destroy the Sky Dog and Sky Ultimate with a classic pistol. And once again, you're doing way too fast, way too premature smokes on a defender's side. Like, if you already want to do some kind of a smoke like this, based on timing, man, enemies need around 7 or 8 seconds. 7 to 10 seconds, around 10 seconds actually, to walk from this position to this position. Wait 7, 8, 9 seconds, and then do a smoke to play inside of it. If you already think that the enemies walked into that area of the map. Like, don't, this smoke is gonna disappear before the enemies even get close to the smoke. If they were pushing ASAP, for an example.
Shadows traveling. That's done.
Yeah. We need to be aware that one enemy can be in the garage. Like, if enemies take the garage control and none of your teammates are watching the window, we need to jump spot this angle and be very, very careful. We're not careful at all, huh? There can still be someone in garage.
Cover going out.
Now, this fast rotation that he did was absolutely fine. Because enemies were only pushing together as 5, executing the bomb sets together, like, very rarely they were faking or lurking. I mean, only one round. Okay. I mean, listen, when you're jump spotting the angles in Valorant, unless you really need information on some angle, you know, that area of the map is not some kind of a long-range corridor, such as C-long, then you need to do it consistently, you know. But here, like, if enemies want to push through C-long, like, they need to travel through a very long distance. So doing this very repetitive jump spotting might get you killed on this position if enemies are actually holding you with the outlaw and You know, they just need to hit one shot. Okay, they rotated to A. Clutchable. Okay. Okay. Now, in this round here, once again, it is a good game decision that he is starting on the B side. Because we don't have any real reads onto enemies. So enemies can push both A and C. And we need to play fast rotations between every single part of the map. Like, if you cannot read the enemies on Haven, like, then your best bet is to start on B or around the A link and C link, or in Garage, and just play fast rotations. So here, this is a solid game decision. Just when you're playing like these elevated spots, like, always remember that you should play towards the edge of the safety. Like, if I'm playing here, I'm not committing to the fight. I just want to take a one bullet or burst fire and then reposition. Or I'm gonna play this angle, narrow it down a bit, take that type of a fight. Or maybe hide here, surprise enemies with peekers advantage and kill them. Or maybe play all the way here, take a small fight, like one tap, burst fire, drop down. Like, if you play in the middle of these spots, you need to commit to a 50-50 fight, and that's the worst thing that you can do in Valorant. Like, your first fight should never be a 50-50 fight.
Hi, I'm pissed.
Okay, fast rotation. Go, 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 go. Already now, like, we should be giving our teammates a smoke in A long and smoke on top of A short. Map awareness, 0 points. I mean, we did here the Gecko Flash, you know, in the garage and on C side, but guess what? We have a Gecko in the team, not the enemies. Like, one of your main problems is general unawareness, which we need to fix with some kind of a training, and reading the game, which we can only fix with that private coaching videos. Like, the reason why I cannot explain that for you guys that are watching this is because that video is 2 hours long, and, you know, it's a lot of yapping. I mean, smart yapping, but it's gonna take me too much time.
For you.
Fake teleport. Cutting through.
Also, like, I mean, one thing that I've also noticed on the defender side, you make a lot of footsteps. Especially when you're playing around the smokes or behind the smokes. Like, keep your location a secret a bit more. Like, for example, if you already rotated
For you.
all the way here, you know, right now, I would actually start walking. So that enemies think that I'm actually in the CT and not, like, you know, not like in that right corner or playing some kind of an off angle. You don't want to do this, but also, you know, you're huge, like, this smoke here you never do unless you are keeping the full A-shore control. Like, some of your teammates need to play here to capitalize from that smoke. Like, always do a one-way smoke on top of the box and a deep smoke like this. And another problem here is, like, you cannot even play these type of one and done off angles if enemies have, like, some kind of a pop flash. Like, these type of positions you never play against the Sky, KO, Phoenix, Reyna, whatever. Like, you're just gonna die like a potato. You need some kind of a cover, smoke, or anything, essentially.
Cutting through.
Like, here he made way too many footsteps. And it's very easy for that Clove to decide where to actually aim. And, like, you know, where to take a fight. Once again, in this round, I would once again start on the B site. Because, you know, we really cannot read these enemies. I mean, chances are a bit higher in this round that enemies are going to push C. But I would definitely start around the garage and just play a fast rotation between A, B, and C. You need to do that on Haven. Like, especially if you're playing Omen with ultimate, you need to do a bit more gambles, essentially. This is a bad... Like, listen here. First of all, on Haven, there should be never a moment of time where we have nobody in A long. Even if you decide to play with a judge in this corner, you should start your round by doing at least this. Giving me the information whether or not enemies can cross the A main area of the map towards the short and towards the main. And giving the rest of your team on C and B the info that some of the enemies are pushing A site. Then, we don't need to fight the enemies there. I mean, we can fight them, maybe around this smoke and try to kill them and stuff like that. But if your plan is already to play there, then you get into this position, listen to the footsteps, and then we do this type of play. Or, you know, one of my favorite plays is like basically playing in this position, waiting for the enemies to start executing A site, do this smoke, do this smoke. Then you wait for the enemies to be close to A short or to pass this smoke, pop out, and take easy kills behind them or in their face. Someone is always going to be short. I mean, 99% of times. This is... Especially because Sage is walling the B, you know. In this round, starting in the garage made much more sense than anywhere else. And enemies did develop a bit of that AB pattern, essentially. And listen, if you have the Omen ultimate, as soon as you're at least 80% certain that enemies are committing to some site, use the ultimate. Like, as soon as your Gecko died in window, you should have used the ultimate at the backside of C site to support your Phoenix. Because, I mean, if you already have a judge and you're at the back of C, it's so easy to get the kills. Like, essentially, you can just do a smoke like this, you know? A smoke like this. Play inside of this smoke. Kill the enemies moving in. Flash for your teammates in the garage. Flash for the Phoenix enemies there. You can get such an easy kills. And also, always remember, if your teammates are stuck at the backside here, so your teammates are playing plateau or here, you don't want to give them the smoke for C long. Like, it is much more important that you give them this type of a smoke, where they can play around it and isolate some 1v1 fights. Especially if that teammate is a pop flash character, such as Phoenix. Phoenix can easily get into the smoke, and then from the smoke, flash the enemies here, take the kills. Flash the enemies here, take the kills. That smoke is 10 times more important than the smoke, you know, deep smoke in C or the one-way smoke in C.
Shadows traveling.
Especially if enemies are splitting your teammate through the garage. Yeah, good kill. We need to take that Vandal. I don't know why you walk there, like enemies know that you're there. I mean, listen. With all of the smoke characters, if you ever end up in some kind of a crossfire, such as this one, use your smokes to outplay the enemies. Like, give yourself a smoke like this, where you can actually engage enemies in garage without being exposed from the enemies in main on the site. Or with this smoke, we can just engage the enemies on the site. A charlatan. What if enemies are everywhere? If you have shrouded steps, you can also do this. Reveal the enemies. Make the enemies think that you went somewhere. And you get information for your crosshair placement. If an enemy is there, you know, somewhere on the side. Then we can jump spot the enemies. And now we can move in and try to clear the angles one by one. But also he would have had his second smoke as well. To split the enemies in even more gunfights. Always like use the Omen smokes to isolate the... Like in these clutch scenarios, 1v3, 1v2, 1v1. The most important thing with Omen is like how you position yourself and how you use your utility. Like that's why Omen is so powerful. Because even these 1v3 fights with Omen utility, Shrouded Steps and Paranoia and Smokes, they're winnable. They're always winnable. And I would have also went for that, you know, I would have also tried to win that round. But, I mean, you cannot pass that area of the map if the enemy jet is in the garage. And enemies are maybe holding it from the side. Like, we need to isolate 1v1 duels. Now, in this round again, I would have started in the garage. Because I have the ultimate for the A set anyways. And I need to play faster rotations between B, C, and A because, you know, we just don't know what enemies are gonna do. It's okay that he started on A, anyways he has the ultimate, but now we need to use the faster ultimate and rotate.
Cover going out.
Listen, when you're using the Omen ultimate, always use it in some safe position where you can easily commit to that ultimate. Like, the ultimate that he's doing right now is mega dangerous because if enemies start swarming the site, they can easily destroy his shadow and then we're not there to support our allies. Once again here, we should have used the ultimate at the backside. Anyways, we can pick up the gun from the enemy neon. And now, you know, we play a full by round. And also remember that it is almost never worth it playing this position if you don't have a garage control. If you don't have a garage control, the only way to play this position is with a one-way smoke here, where you can actually hide instead of the smoke and peek the enemies here as they're moving in and try to surprise them. Or once the enemies pass you into the site, we can teleport behind them and get the kills. This is also covered. This specific play is covered in my ranked playbook on Discord. On Discord server, bro! Now, we already played this scenario before. So what are the enemies gonna do now? They're gonna push A. Maybe they already have somebody on A side. So, like, read the enemies. Read their patterns. How they play. Players in every single rank, especially in the ranks between gold and high mortal, are mega repetitive, mega easy to read. If you apply the rules that I'm teaching you, and if you invest 60% of your brain into reading the enemies, you'll have much easier time winning these matches. Especially on the huge maps, such as Haven, Lotus, Abyss, and Breeze. How and when you rotate is mega important. Because you don't want to be late for the party. Here, fuck it, we have 3 teammates on the site, we have a smoke to support them, like...
Shadows traveling.
Ooh, there can be one guy in garage. Oof, we didn't clear the garage at all, huh? I don't know, like... There is a chance that enemies re-hit us on C, but chances are really low. Like, you know... So, you know, I like to call for this strategy where we cut the noise for 20 seconds, make the enemies rotate, and then we re-hit the site. That works a lot, especially on the huge maps such as Abyss, Breeze, and Lotus and Haven. But in this elo, it's highly improbable that they're gonna do that based on their current pattern of pushing. Like right now, he should have already been on A side with his teammates. Oh, there's actually a Cypher pushing the site. Like this kill doesn't matter if we're gonna lose our teammates on the A side. Always remember that. Like Valorant is the game of chess, where you want to trade the pieces in a smart way. If you played on A side right now, and we killed the Cypher, we would have been in a 5v3 scenario, and retake on C should be easy as fuck. Essentially. Like, if your teammates are already bad, and you cannot trust them, it is much better if you're taking the fights that you know that are gonna happen together with them. Making sure that they stay alive, if that is even possible, and then we focus on other fights, essentially. Like, you know, what's really important in this elo is, like, developing a feeling for who's gonna fight first. You know, which of your teammates have the highest chances of dying and highest chances of taking the initial fight with the enemies. And you always want to play with those teammates that you think are gonna initially fight. Like right now, this Cypher can kill Yoru, can kill Sage. And then we end up in some fucked up 2v3 scenario. Cypher does the ultimate, we're absolutely done. Maybe that's not gonna happen, I don't know, but, you know, like... Ooh! And also, like, I don't like how you're crossing some of these areas of the map. Like, remember one rule in Valorant. If you lose the information onto some angle or in some area of the map, for at least 2 or 3 seconds, behave towards that area of the map as if enemies can already be there. Like, we left the C site. Enemies are planting the spike on C. You cannot pull out the knife here and start jumping in the window. How do you know that no one is holding that angle? That no one is maybe far left? I'm not a magician. Are you Nostradamus? Because I'm not. Harry Potter? Maybe, I don't know. Wizard Harry? Here right now, like, his job, he has only one job. And that job is staying the fucking alive. And waiting for his team. Not doing anything, just holding the CT push. Sitting in the garage, checking the CT and waiting for his teammates. Crosshair placement in the ground, love it. Well, I don't know what he's holding. Please, you know, always place your crosshair on the angle from which you think enemies can kill you. Also, that smoke that he did in a garage, I don't know what is that smoke for. Like, hello? Right now, having a smoke in, you know, for the spike and for the C-long would be great.
You're done. Cutting through.
Listen here. With Omen, if you want to bait the shots from the enemy operator, like you know, you think the Jet is playing there at the backside. Don't do it by jumping out and doing this. You know, do it with the shrouded steps. Like, do this. It's very safe. And then Jet shoots a shot. Bop, 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 bop. We kill the Jet. Also, during the retakes, if you have one smoke, please smoke the spike. Especially if the numbers are equal or we have the numbers advantage. Like in a 4v1, we need to have one guy sticking the spike defuse, and the rest of the teammates are just holding the sky peak. When you have numbers advantage, or the equal numbers, never smoke the choke points. Never. Unless you're playing some kind of an eco and halberd round, and you need to close the gap with the enemies in that main area of the map. We want to see the enemies peeking. You know? We want them to peek, so we can kill them and hold them. You see, we almost lost this round only because of this smoke. Because this guy spammed Sage, spammed Yoru, spammed us as well. If we didn't body block these bullets for the Gecko, we would have lost this round. This round we could have lost only because of one mistake, and that is that smoke. Don't make this mistake. Always smoke the spike and never smoke the choke points if you have numbers advantage or you're equal in terms of the numbers. Only when you're in some kind of a disadvantage, we want to smoke deep towards the enemies so we can maybe push the smoke and try to pressure them and isolate them in some kills. Now, this round, same as any round, like, to be honest, like, I don't know. I would start... You know, to be honest, in this round, chances are really, really high that enemies are gonna push the A site. Because of rule of fear. You know, rule of fear is something that enemies were following, but we didn't win that many rounds on the defender side, so... You know. So, playing hero on A and gambling on A is fine, actually. Like, it's a good game decision.
Back soon. I'll handle this.
Okay, they're probably moving through garage again, and mid. Here, we need to smoke for the Sage. What the fuck is going on, man? Like, you hear the enemies on mid. You see on the minimap, the Sage wall is broken. What are you smoking, bro? Brother, like, already here, your Sage should have had a smoke for the B main. And also, remember when you're rotating from A side to B side, if you see enemies moving in the site, you can also flash like this and support your Sage. Like I would have done this, hold my flash, aha, Jet is there, flash for your Sage, stop the enemy's push. But I really think that majority of these problems stem like from lack of map awareness, man. Like you need to check that minimap more. A lot more. Mega more. Very more. So much more. More. I've shared with you, you know, all of the indicators and cues when you should look at the minimap. But we need to do some kind of a training for this. Like, this is criminal, man. Criminal. Like, you're rotating, you're not doing anything, you hear the gunshots. Where are you looking at if you're not looking at the minimap? And then you decide to smoke the C-long area of the map. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Shadows traveling.
No, this is just... This is the next level of map unawareness. Okay, I'm gonna dictate, and we need to do this. We need to do this. Like, I'm gonna dictate step by step everything. So when to look at the minimap in Valorant. This is a very important topic. I need to, this is criminal. Criminal, bro. Okay, so map awareness in Valorant is very important. And understanding when to look at a minimap is also very important. We need to understand the trigger points. What are the trigger points? Basically, when do you look at your screen and when you look at the minimap. You should look at the minimap when you're not engaging enemies in a duel or an area of the map where you expect to fight them. So essentially, you know, you're not fighting the enemies, chances are very low for you to fight the enemies, look at the minimap. You're not holding some angle where enemies can peek you and destroy you based on timing. You're hiding behind some cover, around angles, smokes, safe positions. If you're in the smoke, minimap. Anyways, you're gonna see the enemy, like enemies are gonna be really big on your screen, and you can see them with a peripheral vision when they're entering the smokes, or, you know, entering the smokes. You're rotating or moving to an area of the map where you know for a fact that enemies cannot be there. Something happens in the round. Someone dies. Some utility is deployed. You get some tactical call out. Take a sneak peek. at the minimap. You notice that your teammates are making some kind of a move on which you need to react. Like you notice things are, on your screen. That your teammates are going somewhere, they're doing something. Check them. See what the fuck they're doing. Your teammates are fighting enemies. You're checking how many and which enemies are there. Always. Like you hear some gunshots. Check the minimap. See, like you need, just quickly, bob up. That's why developing the peripheral vision in Valorant is very important. Because you should be able to react on the enemies to some degree, even if you're looking at the minimap. With this part of the sight. That's why, that's another thing that you should train. Your teammates are fighting enemies. Check how many and which enemies are there. Your teammates are in front of you, or they're holding some angle for you, and they are the first contact. Check the minimap. See what's happening on the map. You're trying to deploy some kind of a utility for your team, or yourself. And you're searching for perfect timing. Check the minimap. Especially with Omen. You're deploying the smokes. You're only looking at the minimap. Like you should be able to deploy the smoke while you're looking at the minimap. You're preparing for a retake or post plant with your team. And you need to make some good game decisions. Check the minimap first and then make a decision. You're starting a round on defenders or attacker side. In the last 10 seconds of a preparation phase, you're always observing what are your teammates doing, where are they most likely going to die, where you need to support them, or where they can make some kind of a mistake that you need to compensate. You're asking yourself, what should I do based on what my teammates are doing and what are the enemies doing in the previous rounds. These are all of the trigger points that we have in Valorant when you should look at the minimap. So based on this, 50% of times, your eye should be up there. Not for a very long period of time, but you should be checking what is happening around you. Based on the sound cues, based on the minimap, based on yours and enemies' utility usage, we can make good game decisions. We need to fix that.
Shadows traveling.
Here, enemy jet is literally. Enemy jet is literally in A-Link. We are fucked. I cannot look this. Ah! Sorry. Basically, whole game happens on minimap beside the gunfights and during potential threat. Yeah. Yes. So, like, that information is mega important. Mega giga. Now in this round here, because enemies are so random, I will start on the B side and just play a fast rotation between A, C, and Garage. And because we cannot trust our teammates with anything, like gambling on A side here is gonna be interesting. Also, I mean, like, not having anyone in Garage this whole match. Like, if your teammates are positioning like this, where your Sage is doing the wall on B, and you don't have anyone in Garage, what I recommend you to do, if you don't need both of your smokes for something, start the round by instantly deploying this smoke. Just to see what enemies are gonna do, and delay them a bit. That's better than, Okay. You see here right now, like, one enemy can easily be in a Garage. Easily. And your Gecko is unaware of it, your Sage is unaware of it, they can get backstabbed and absolutely cocked, essentially. And we need to, we don't want our teammates to be cocked. Gecko got cocked. Because if you drop a one-way smoke there at the start of the round, chances are really highly unlikely that enemies are going to have the confidence to push immediately in the garage and to take that space for the next like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, unless they do some kind of a utility, but then they're going to be revealed. Like, there's no way enemies are going to walk into the garage through the one-way smoke. Like, maybe in iron and bronze, but I highly doubt a gold or platinum player is going to do that. And it's totally fine that he's stuck to this position. Like, enemies were really, really close to the A-main choke point. I would have stayed on A set a bit more as well. Just remember that when you're playing Bulldog and you're fighting the enemies in a long range and medium range fights, you always want to fight them with the ADS, with the burst fire. When he's holding that one way, he can look at the minimap, right? He can. Like, what's the problem? Anyways, it's a one-way. Like, I mean, this one-way, you don't see the enemy legs at all. To be honest, when you do this one-way, you should not even hold it. Like, I mean, who the fuck is gonna pass that without utility? I mean, you can hold it if there's nothing else to do it. But this one-way just fully stops the enemy's push. Like, I mean, most of the times you want to do this one-way to play here, not really up there. There's a better one-way for this position to fuck up the enemies. Like a fake one-way. Okay, now in this 1v1, we know the spike is A short. The best idea is to keep our location a secret. Isolate angles in a smart way and just gamble. In this round here, I don't know. I would probably just stay on the A site, on the tower, and wait to see what the Cypher is gonna do. Like, that's the best gamble we can take right now. Let's just camp here, hold this angle. If he is planting the spike on A, we can instantly drop down and try to kill him. If he plants the spike on B and C, anyways, it's a gamble that we took. A safe gamble. Man, like, a Cypher cannot fly. You know, like, hold behind you. And also holding this is bad. Why would I hold that? You know, like, Cypher can peek me from that angle, Just tuck yourself into tower and wait for the first silent cue. This is a bad angle to hold. Why would I take this fight? It would have been much better if you know, you just play this. Hold one angle. Cypher start planting the spike. You know, we can jump on his face, take a kill. He plants the spike on C and B. Rotate. And then with our smokes, we can try to outplay that Cypher and make him think, you know, where the fuck we're going. You want this only because I don't know what that Cypher was doing, but the play was good. Overall play was fine. You know, like that he went onto tower, isolated only, you know, this part of the map. Result would have been the same, even if he played like in the way that I've told him to play. Don't start this passively, man. Like, I don't see, like, I never see a reason why would you ever start on the site. Like, start, you know, fighting the enemies in A long or A short, and this should be your second position when you're playing on the A site, not the first position. You know, all this, try to get a kill, maybe try to outplay the enemies with a shrouded steps and a paranoia, like fake shrouded steps, like, and then, you know, if you have a teleport, get up here and contest the enemies in short.
Time to jump. Cover going out.
And also, these smokes that you're doing are way too premature for yourself. Slow down. Do the smokes either based on timing or based on information. There was no, like, the round started like 5 minutes. I don't know, man, like, way too fast.
Shadows travel.
So we smoked A-Link. Okay. I mean, right now, I don't know. We should have smoked B main just. But listen here. In this scenario here, I would actually connect with the Yoru. Like when there's 4 of you guys alive on the map, and you're going for the retakes, the best idea is to split in the numbers of 2. Like 2 players play together, the rest of the team plays together. Here I would actually follow the Yoru. And let the Gecko and Phoenix spray from, you know, ceiling. Especially when you're retaking the B set of Haven. Having someone clearing the B-man area of the map is very important. Because when the B-man enemies can easily spam you, kill you with their utility, you know, it's really fucked up. So if you clear the B-man and C-link, that is 10 times better than if we are taking the B-set control from A-link and C-link. Crosshair place. No, I don't want to talk about this anymore, literally. First of all, you heard enemies close to you. Whenever enemies are this close to you, Paranoimus Rex, bam. Engage them with a paranoia. Always. Always. Second of all, we need to fix this crosshair placement. I don't know what's happening. Why you lose the focus? We'll try to find some kind of a fix. There's a lot. We'll try to find some training. Once again, I don't know, like, it's really criminal behavior, like playing Haven without any control of the garage. Like, if we already don't have anyone in garage, and we don't have any utility for the garage, like, fuck it. You know, if you're playing Omen, just instantly at the start of the round, do that smoke, and play only with 1 smoke. Anyways, it's gonna recharge after 15 seconds, so it's okay. And also, you know, once again, you're starting way too passively. Like, if you don't need to jump spot the enemies here. Like, you know, we can hold this angle, try to go for 1 bullet, or 3 bullets, and then get up there. We can hold this tight angle, try to get a kill there, and then teleport there, outplay the enemies. We can hold this angle, try to get a kill, and then TP there, fuck up the enemies. Or anywhere, essentially. Like, I don't know why we just start a round by just jump spotting this angle without even trying to get, you know, at least 1 or 3 bullets into the enemy's body in a safe way. Like, all of these angles that I've showcased you right now, they're pretty safe. Like, if you just go for 1 bullet or a burst fire and you reposition, you're gonna die maybe like 5% of times. And also, like, another tip, like, whenever you're playing Seaside, without the garage control, always. But you need to always play on the plateau area of the map. And you need to hold this. And occasionally check the C-long. Like, it is just criminal not having the information whether or not the enemies can cross from here to here, from here to here. Criminal. Like, we leave such a huge area of the map open. What? Listen, first of all here. Let's look at this round. So, there's nothing to smoke on B. Enemies are not pushing B side. We should have, like, right now, what we should have done, instead of wasting our time smoking B, is the following. We should have smoked deep C long, do this smoke, and play around this smoke. We can flash the enemies, teleport in this corner, try to kill them, like, so many different stuff. Now, after you magically killed the Neon and 1 more enemy in the C long, you don't want to go away. You have Sage with yourself? You have Gecko with yourself. Like, why would you go away? Fight with them. But once again, I guarantee you, this is a problem of a map awareness. He's not even aware that the Sage and Gecko are this close. Like, if I wanted to use this ultimate, so I open the ultimate, I'm not just gonna randomly use it. Before I open the ultimate, I will check the minimap for 2 seconds or 1 second, and then decide where I wanna ult, and if I wanna ult. Leaving your teammates here is criminal. Criminal. But no, if you lose this round, this is crazy, man. This is fucking crazy if you lose this round. Yeah. Also, I've noticed one more thing. First of all, you're spraying way too much. Like, I recommend you. You know, I'll give you the training for all of this shit. But 2 main problems, mechanical problems, that you have in your gameplay are the following. Number 1. Whenever you take a fight with the enemies, a 50-50 fight, you instantly commit to the fight. Like, you're not strafing enough during the fights, and you're just a very static target. Like, if you take the fight with that Sage, Jet, you don't want to do this. Like, strafe. Go for the burst fires, and try to be unpredictable. You don't instantly go for the spray. Sometimes you want to spray and commit to the fight, but not always. Second problem is, if you already decide to take a fight with the enemies and go for the full gorilla spray, at some moment you need to crouch down. You just need to do it. Especially with the Vandal. Like, this is really hard to control. And in 50% of fights that you lost, if you crouched down, you maybe would have won that fight. Because especially yours bullets and your recoil control is very bad. We will fix that with the training, obviously. But there isn't a better moment of time to crouch than when your bullets are going to Jesus Christ. And when you cannot control your spray anymore. Like, then, go down, compensate the recoil, lower down the spread of the bullets, and take that fight. But anyways, this is not the problem. Problem is, like, why did we leave the seaside? Why didn't we fight with our teammates? No, there's no way. Like, I'm not. If this goes into overtime, I'm not watching it. I'm so mad. I'm so mad, bro. But there's no way we'll lose that 4v2 round, man. Why would we teleport away? That was so stupid, bro. Now here, in this last force by round, like, I don't know. Personally, I would probably go with a Judge, Heavy Shield, all of the utility, and ask my teammates to drop me a Sheriff. But Bulldog is not bad. Like, it's okay, hull by weapon, whatever. I don't know. That's the only round that got me real mad, you know? Once again, way too premature smokes. You're starting way too passively. Like, don't start this passively on the bomb sites. What is this? You notice that your Phoenix is fighting in the A-long. Fight with him first. You know, hold this angle, maybe bait for the Phoenix. Enemies are moving in. Prepare a paranoia. Bam. Try to kill them again. Enemies are going A short. Do the one-way smoke then. And then teleport up here. And then hold the A short. You cannot start your round here. You have a Judge. Heavy Shield. You want to play this strategy. With this smoke. Start the round by jiggle picking the enemies. And trying to get the info and bait them. Bait them. Get the info for your teammates. And that's it. Then we use the shrouded steps. Smoke when the enemies are close to us. Smoke when the enemies are in A-long. And then we just wait for the perfect moment of time to strike. Most of the time, like 95% of times, enemies are not going to expect you in this position. Now, also, like, this smoke that you gave for your Phoenix was really scuffed, man. Like, if you already want to support your Phoenix, this smoke would have been much better. Combined maybe with a paranoia or something, I don't know.
No charges.
Especially here, like...
Time to jump.
Okay, teleporting on this spot was good. because we have a one-way smoke for A short, like, we have some cover. It's okay. Repositioning was also good, because you don't want to stay on the same position from which you fought the enemies already. Crosshair placement might do this sweeping the floor of the McDonald's. You know. Our crosshair should be somewhere here, because this is the box. You know, we have a box here. The box's heights in Valorant are usually the player's headshot. So our crosshair should be somewhere there.
Get out of my way.
Cover going out.
For you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Your duty is not over.
Okay. Okay. Listen. All of these problems that we laid out during this VOD review are very easy to fix. Like, very easy. From mechanical problems to gameplay problems. I already know what type of training I'm gonna share with you, and I promise to you, if you complete that training for the next 2 to 3 months, both mechanical and gameplay wise, and if you apply all of the tips that we talked about during this VOD review, and all of the tips that you're gonna get after the VOD review through my private coaching videos, you're gonna get minimum Ascendant 1 until the end of this year. Minimum. Okay, let's not make it like, I promise you're gonna be Ascendant 1. Like, this is criminal that you got into Gold 3 with so many small mistakes that are very easy to fix, very easy to work on, and that you're playing, you know, Valorant on both attackers and defender side in this specific way. We're not gonna watch the overtime. There's really no reason to do it, because, you know, I mean, we can just scroll through it, like, but, you know, let's see how they push here. We're gonna peek a window like a monkey, allow the Yoru to peek it. Yeah, Yoru is gonna die now. Fuck the paranoia, peek with the Yoru. Don't, you know, what are we doing here?
Plant spike.
Cover going.
Smokes are okay. We saw the jet, but, you know, our map awareness is so low that we don't even check the minimap. Like, in the middle of the teleport, what are you looking if you're not looking at the minimap? Like, no? Okay, we won this round somehow by miracle. Gamble on the A side. Teleported again, way too passive. Insta smoke. Fucking shit. I mean, smoke is shit, not him.
Shadows traveling.
That smoke is not deep enough. Like, you know, default smokes when you're stopping the enemy's push should be deep smoke in the choke point like this, or a one-way smoke to deny as much space as possible from the enemy team, so they have harder time executing the sites. We should rotate faster, because enemies are usually never rotating. This paranoia, who are you paranoying? Like, my mother, my father, like no one is there. Did you hear someone? Rotate, 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 your teammates are bad. Cypher is probably lurking. I mean, he's probably in the C-long or someone in the spawn right now, because they never lurk and flank. Why push this guy alone? Chill. We're 4 versus 1. As long as we play together, we win this round together. Fuck it. Thank you for watching another VOD review. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave some kind of a comment, you know. Like, tell me which map, which agent you want to see next. Join my Discord server for private coaching. That is much better than this. Also, like, subscribe on both my main and the second YouTube channel. Right now, there's a giveaway on my Discord server for free coaching and Valorant points. Make sure to do, you know, get into that as well. I stream live on Twitch every single business day, most of the time, like from Monday to Friday. So you can catch me live. And essentially, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.